3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 319 points today to 42,434. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Throw toward the end zone. Bryce fits it into Leggett for a touchdown. Little flare. Sanders tries to spin away. He can't. Tackled by Surtain. Ecker, fake punt. He'll throw. He had Franklin open and he missed him. They'll throw downfield for Tremble. The ball is intercepted. It's Surtain looking Coker's way. Throws his way. Contested and intercepted. Looking for Coker. Back shoulder. Jalen Coker makes the catch. First career touchdown.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. I'm back. Wasn't here on Friday, but I'm back on Monday.
Hey, voice sounds good.
Turns out just heavily drinking and going to a cousin's wedding, your voice can come back.
Hey, what a plane flight will do for you, right?
And guess what else came back over the weekend?
Oh, God.
Bryce Young's offense. For better and worse. Here's what I have confirmed after watching and dissecting and diving in to the Panthers game over the weekend, which was another hideous loss. This one on the road at Denver. Dave Canales and Bryce Young don't like each other. And that can't work. That can't work. I think as dudes, they just don't appreciate each other. You know, I mean, have you ever watched a romantic comedy with two leads that don't have any chemistry? And you're just sitting there going, like, I know I'm supposed to believe you're falling in love right now, but I just don't buy it. You just aren't. I can tell you don't like working with each other. This movie doesn't work. That is Bryce Young and Dave Canales. They just don't have chemistry. When Bryce gets the play call, I need like the comic book little thought bubble, like bloop, bloop, bloop.
Now you're speaking my language.
And he's just thinking, this darn dude with his play call thinks this is going to work? All right, let's see. And then the same is true on the opposite end. Dave Canales makes the play call, and as soon as Bryce Young drops back, he's going, how in the world is this guy going to mess this up? And that inherently doesn't work. It can't work. You need to have full trust and confidence in each other at those two positions, offensive play caller and quarterback. And if you don't, it's a wrap. It's donezo. It is doomed before it starts. Dave Canales after the game on how he thought Bryce Young played.
I thought he had some excellent drives. I thought he had some excellent throws in there. I think the offense will be the first to tell you, there was things all across the board, in the run game and the pass game, and we're just asking Bryce to do his one part of it, and I thought he did a pretty good job of that today.
I don't know if pretty good is how I would describe it, but I didn't believe it when Canales told me right there. Bryce Young, obviously, by the way, give everyone their credit. The first drive was awesome. First drive, it was less than 50 yards, but it was awesome. Got the turnover, marched right down, fitted into a small window in the end zone, touchdown Xavier Leggett, bada boom, bada bang. Awesome. After that, downhill. Bryce Young on what went wrong after the opening drive.
Just execution. Credit to the Broncos and them on defense. They did a really good job. Especially at the beginning, we felt like we were just one play away, whether it was self-inflicted or just execution stuff. And then the second half. We just got to do a better job of stringing along drives, executing. Again, credit to them. They did a good job. And then for us, just got to watch the film and then, see what we got to do to get better.
They're saying the right things. I'm just not believing it. All the whole offense. No, I believe Dave Canales, when he talks with his friends, right, the people who he trusts won't go to the media, he's saying, I can't win with Bryce. And I believe Bryce, when he talks with his friends, those that he trusts won't go to the media, are saying, I don't know, man, this offense is whack. I don't know if Bryce Young speaks like he's from the 90s, but whack is a good way to describe it. That can't work. The irony is, we've been talking about this alignment for years now. Years. The four horsemen of the franchise. Those that you need to have in alignment. Mm-hmm. We've even nicknamed Dave Canales and Dan Morgan the alignment because that's what they say all the darn time. The Panthers have stopped their alignment one stop too early. They got off the bus one stop too early. The Panthers seem to have three of the four horsemen of the franchise on the same page. We're talking owner, GM, head coach. But it's the four horsemen of the franchise. They forgot the quarterback. You need the owner, the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback on the same page. They don't have that right now. And if you don't have all four, you might as well have none of them. I jokingly said preseason that they needed a weekend. And not a weekend to go crunch data or pay attention to film or design an offense. They needed a weekend where the Teppers got the private jet. They took Dan Morgan, Dave Canales, Bryce Young, and David Tepper and went to Vegas. Just so they could all like each other. They could have an inside joke. They could get to know each other as someone that they want to see succeed. They very obviously didn't have that time to get to know each other. Very obviously. So now you're left with this. Adam Gold hosts the Adam Gold Show directly before this one every weekday on 99.9 The Fan. He thinks Dave Canales was sabotaging Bryce Young. I don't know if he used the word sabotage, but I'm going to put that in his mouth, those words in his mouth.
Basically, that's what he was saying.
He was saying that Dave Canales wanted Bryce Young to fail so people would stop telling him he's a good quarterback. So he was legitimately calling plays he didn't think would work so he could be like, good, are we happy now? Can we move on? He thought he was essentially Adam Sandler in The Longest Yard. You've seen the remake of The Longest Yard? When, what is his name? Paulie, I think his name is, the guy that wants to be quarterback. Mm-hmm. Why can't I be quarterback? Throws him the ball. Here.
Brucey?
Yeah. Brucey, that's what it was. Brucey,
have that
here.
back one.
Throw him the ball. Throw me the ball. Throws it, shanks the throw. That's why you can't be quarterback. Someone believes that's what Dave Canales was doing to Bryce Young. You want to be quarterback? Here, throw me the ball. See? That's why you can't be quarterback. While calling bad plays for him. They just don't like each other. And by the way, I don't know if that's the biggest problem. The most unique problem. Everyone has one, right? Somebody in the office, somebody across the cubicles, somebody in the other department, so-and-so in accounting, right? Just somebody who you're like, you know what? At the office Christmas party, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with that one. I'll talk to them when I need to talk to them for business, but we're not buddies, which can work from marketing and accounting, right? It can work from someone in the business side and someone out in the garage of a mechanic shop. But it can't work between head coach and quarterback. It can't. Dave Canales was asked today on who's going to be the starting quarterback. That's what everybody wants to know. Did Bryce do enough to keep the job? Does the situation say it's Bryce's? Or are you going back to Andy Dalton? This was Dave Canales just moments ago.
It's going to be a couple of days. These are really important days. The next few, really getting all the way out there to Wednesday to play some live snaps and to do that. So I'll give you guys more information about that. But we really have to look at, Andy, where he's at and in the next couple of days to make a sound decision.
Oh, surprise. You're not showing a whole bunch of faith and confidence in Bryce Young? Who would have guessed? I saw this thing online that said, my parents always told me, if you can't say anything, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. The problem is my face has subtitles. That's what the joke was, right? Some people, even if you're not saying it, your face says everything. Dave Canales, his tone, his face, it all says it. Gosh, I hope Andy Dalton can play this weekend.
That's basically, if he can grip a football, we're going to go with Andy.
No one did anything to make Bryce Young look even more attractive as a trade candidate. That's why I think it's a like thing. It's a lack of fondness thing. Because if you like the guy, you just don't think he's a good quarterback, you put him out there, you try to make him look as good as possible so you can send him away in a trade somewhere where he'll have a fresh start. If you're not helping him look good now, it's almost like vindictive. It is almost like what Adam Gold is thinking. I don't think it's that far. I think it's more subconscious, but it is a little bit of like, does everyone think this guy is good? Let me show you. This is what I'm working with. After that first drive, which was a good first drive, gosh, that was a tough one to watch. Mm-hmm. I think you stick with Bryce because I don't have a reason to go back to Andy Dalton, and I think he was at least good enough to evaluate the others if that's what you're worried about. But there's not a starting quarterback on this roster right now. It's about roster construction, and you've constructed a roster without a top-end quarterback. So I know what you're going to be trying to do this offseason, which might as well start today. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's a lot to get to there. There's a lot of reactions, I am sure, which is why at 3:30 we are opening up the call-in line. The Heister Automotive Group hotline for a Monday sound-off will open up in just under 20 minutes, so start collecting your thoughts. Start collecting your sound-off, your venting, whether it's about the Panthers, about the Canes, whether it's about any of the college teams in the area, or maybe UNC, which the question has to be, where the heck was that all season? UNC woke the heck up this past weekend, and we'll talk about it next. Stick around.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Jordan Moore delivers, and the Blue Devils have the lead.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford and by Amedios.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am doing a commercial for somebody, I am vouching for who they are and what they do. You guys do great work, but your customer service stands above all the great work that you do.
Adam, I truly appreciate that testimonial. And yeah, we try to take pride in our customer service and meet and exceed our homeowners' expectations on all their home improvement needs. Obviously, there's many companies out there that do what we do. If you Google home improvements Raleigh, you're going to get many, many companies. But you're not going to find too many companies out there that have a 4.9 rating and over 800 Google reviews and over 7,000 Guild quality reviews. It takes a lot of work on our part to make sure we meet and exceed all your expectations on customer service. And we're going to continue to do so because that's why we've been in business since 1961.
I have used the Aluminum Company. I have not heard anyone that had anything but incredible things to say about all of you, and that is amazing. That's a testimony to how you guys do it. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I ask this question because I understand there are certain things in sports that are completely and totally unexplainable. The Chiefs being undefeated this year, one of them. Another, what in the heck got into UNC? Sorry, USC, I'm so excited, I'm just flipping letters around. UNC. Specifically, what in the heck got into UNC's pass rush this weekend? I don't even know if I recognize the team that played this weekend for UNC. I recognize some players. Omarion Hampton looked like Omarion Hampton, right? Some of the offensive line looked like some of the offensive line. We've seen J.J. Jones be good before. He was great this weekend. Jacoby Criswell was really good. Nate McCollum and Copenhaver were dependable in their roles as the number 2 and 3 option in the pass game. But that was the first time we saw all of them show up at the same time. So credit to UNC for coming out of the bye week ready to play. They had their studs ready to play. Matter of fact, Mac Brown called it the best win since their season opener, which had a whole bunch of adversity and was a win over a Big Ten team on the road. Here's Mac Brown.
I've said all along this is a team that I thought would keep getting better, and we showed that Saturday. That's the best we've played as a game, as a team, the entire game since Minnesota, and Minnesota's turned out to be a really good team. As I said, their quarterback's playing well. They jumped all over Maryland this weekend. They beat USC. They're having a tremendous year. But the guys played free. They played loose. I thought they had fun. They looked like they had confidence, and that's something that we haven't seen for an entire game for a while.
Yeah, it was a 41-14 victory over UVA, and the UVA points came after it was pretty much over.
Yeah, it beat the brakes off them.
I know UVA isn't the best team in the world, right? They're kind of on a losing streak here, lost their last 3. But with the way UNC played, they would have beaten much, much better teams. They just happened to play UVA, and you woke up and annihilated them.
If that team showed up against Georgia Tech, they beat Georgia Tech.
Yes. I'm not sure there are many games, if they show up that way, that they wouldn't have won yet.
They probably would have beat Duke, too.
If the team that played on Saturday was the team that had the 20-0 lead over Duke, they win that game.
Yep.
They lost to Pittsburgh by 10. I know Pittsburgh's undefeated, but they didn't play as well as they did on Saturday against Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if they play that well. I mean, maybe the James Madison game, because that game was in a funhouse mirror. It was just kooky. But that is a different UNC team. I'm going to talk about the pass rush, but I want to go to Mac Brown here with his comments post-game, because my first thought is, did you do anything different going into the game to get that kind of result? Mac Brown was asked if there was a difference leading up to the UVA game.
I really didn't. The thing that's been amazing about these kids, they practice good all the time. And they're happy in practice, and they're having fun. Pro scouts that come out, we've lost 3 in a row, and they say, God, you wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't think it. And then when they got in the game, they got worried, I think, and again, maybe it's my fault, that they felt so much pressure to win that they get uptight in the games and they haven't had confidence, and we haven't consistently played well. And today was a new start. We buried Tylee. We're in a position where we've got a stretch here of new, fresh games. We got the offensive line healthy. Randy's doing better. He's healthier. You get Kamen back. So we said, let's start over.
That must be the most frustrating thing in the world then. To say nothing was different, the team practices just as hard, everything is the same. You go into some games and it's what the last 4 weeks have been. You go into another game and it's what Saturday was, and you're just, I'm the most confused coach in the world. Nothing was different. You're the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Last week, you're the Tennessee Titans, Carolina Panthers. Maybe not that bad. You know what I mean. To me, the difference, right, if it wasn't anything in the lead up, It wasn't anything in the offense, because I do think J.J. Jones, I do think Omarion Hampton, they've been good for stretches this season already. It was the pass rush. That was the new and different. That was the thing that was Dave Grohl joining Nirvana, right? That was the thing that's like, oh, well, when you add this in, they're pretty darn good. 15 sacks in the first 7 games for UNC. They played 7 games, averaging 2 and change sacks per game. And honestly, I can't even remember a ton of them, right? They're just kind of run-of-the-mill plays. They had 10 sacks alone versus Virginia. 2/3 of the sacks they had the entire season coming into the game, they had against Virginia. And it's not like Virginia, Calandria, the quarterback that started the game for UVA, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he is slippery. He is a good athlete. He'll stay on the move. He's not easy to get on the ground. I'm starting to feel like the guys that I call out on the show are out there to make me look dumb. But I actually like it. Last week we did cons and most disappointing award, right? About halfway through the year, who's the most disappointing? For UNC, I said mostly due to injuries, it was Kamen Rucker. I said to go 7 games into the season, granted he only played 2 of them, but to only have 1 sack from your best pass rusher, injury, ineffectiveness, whatever, it's a disappointment. He had an interception and 3 sacks versus Virginia. Javari Ritzy, you want to talk trying to shut up the haters. He is 290 pounds and returned an 80-yard interception return for a touchdown and had a sack. That defensive front changed everything in that game. Changed absolutely everything. So you know what the question becomes, right? After a game like that, the first question is, what did you do differently? Right? Was there a new player in the rotation? Was there a new scheme? What did you do differently? Mac Brown already said, they practiced the same. We were doing the same. We just locked in. So now the next question. How do you do it again? Would have been lovely if the answer was just, we started running more twists, because then guess what you do next week? You run more twists. But when the answer is, we've been doing the same stuff, I'm going, all right, well, you better figure out what the difference was, because your season is completely different now. Completely different. We've talked about, there are a few teams, State and UNC amongst them the last 2 weeks, when the other wasn't on bye, that had games that felt like if you win it, bowl eligibility becomes likely. If you lose it, I stop finding the games out there to make you bowl eligible. Now that UNC has won that game in that fashion, you look at the rest of their schedule, Florida State better be a win because they stink. That gets you to 5 wins. Now you have 3 more games, Wake Forest, BC, NC State. You win one of them, you're bowl eligible. That's where you are now. Your season is different. But only if you can figure out what the heck happened against Virginia and how to replicate it. I'm going to use one of Dennis's favorite phrases.
What's that?
Anyone can have a good moment.
Oh, yeah.
Can you do it consistently? That's UNC's new task. We know it's in there. We know it's in your genes, DNA, and it's in there somewhere. Rush the passer like that, everything changes. And then you can stay committed to Omarion Hampton in the run game. And then all of a sudden the pass isn't so obvious. So now Jacoby Criswell can have the advantages he needs to be an effective quarterback in the NCAA, in the ACC. That's what it all comes down to. I hate to use the phrase, but I'm going to. Complementary football. When the defense does that, the offense can unlock the parts that they are best at. They can stay an Omarion Hampton-based offense, which, by the way, I said they should do even if they fall behind a little bit. But, I understand the logic if you want to keep slinging it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, we have Monday Sound Off. We are opening up the phone lines to you. Keister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. You want to sound off about the Panthers? We want to hear it. You want to sound off about Duke losing a tight one to SMU? We want to hear it. UNC's unbelievable game we just talked about. We want to hear it. The Canes, we want to hear it. Anything else, we also want to hear that. Keister Automotive Group hotline now open for the Monday sound off, 919-860-5326. For the next half hour, your calls drive the show, at least the next half hour. 919-860-5326. Monday sound off coming up next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
There's a rebound you're talking about, and they score! Marty Necas to the Century Club, his 100th career goal, has Carolina up 3-0.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 9:30. Puck drop at 10.
Now back to Slavin. He shot right on. Rebounds out in front. Chance up front. They score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
Dauntless Transmissions in Raleigh is hiring. If you're an ASE certified automotive technician looking to make good money, have a guaranteed 40-hour work week, and get paid every Friday, check out this opportunity. Dauntless Transmissions is a small family-owned shop with a quality-first attitude in need of technicians with experience doing minor engine work. Happy to train the right candidate further on transmissions. If you're ready to be appreciated and duly compensated for your automotive abilities, call or apply now at dauntlesstransmissions.com.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Monday sound off here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. The Heathrow Automotive Group hotline is open for your venting, your sounding off, your questions, your concerns, your observations. 919-860-5326. It was about as busy a sports weekend as we've had in quite some time, and there's something for everybody. So feel free to call into the show and steer us in the direction you want to talk. We'll start with Russ in Durham. Russ wants to talk about Duke versus SMU, which was an exciting game if you're a Blue Devil fan, not the ultimate result you were looking for. Russ, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy listening to your show.
Thank you.
Again, I have to say Duke's defense has risen up every game this year. Every game this year, the defense has done their job and then some. But it seems like it's just a consistent pattern with the quarterback. He can't move the sticks. 3 downs and out. Throws it over the head. Throws it at the feet. I mean, this team should and could be 8-0 right now if we had some offense that could move the ball on a consistent basis. And I'm not bad-mouthing Malik, but I do believe that Loftus, when he came in for Raleigh last year, I believe we need to make a change just to see if we can't get some consistency on moving the sticks, get some third downs converted, and just move and give the defense a rest for one thing. But let's just get somebody in there, and we'll run the ball. I mean,
Russ, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Malik Murphy. This is just like little devil's advocate. I'm gonna play the other side here. Malik Murphy threw for 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And if they don't have a field goal block, they win the game with a top 25 opponent at their house. And just to be clear here, you want him benched?
I want to say, well, I guess you could say, benched. I just want the team to be more consistent when the offense is on the field. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate the call.
Turnovers, but we scored nothing.
Yep, I appreciate the call. I just want to build off of it. I want to discuss a little bit about what you're saying here. So call back in anytime. Here's my take on that. How far has Duke football come? They just lost in overtime to a top 25 team. Quarterback threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. There's a point in time where that game, they're darn near building you a statue.
Yeah.
And right now the defense is so good that game is making you question the quarterback. How far has Duke football come? Do you know how many touchdowns Riley Leonard threw last year?
3.
You know how many Malik Murphy threw on Saturday?
3.
Yes. I'm not talking about in any game for Riley Leonard. I'm talking about in every game last year. He threw 3 touchdowns. Malik Murphy did that on Saturday, and there's reason to believe the offense needs a change. And by the way, when you win a turnover battle 6-0 and you don't win the game, you probably are thinking, like, something's got to change. It's pretty unbelievable. I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not benching Malik Murphy, just to put my opinion out there. I thought he played maybe not the most efficient, but good enough. It's just it's a long way Duke has come.
I was there on Saturday, and one thing that I noticed in the fourth quarter when they actually got their game-tying drive, one thing that I noticed was like, they finally started to lean on the running game. Like they started back to lean on Star Thomas there in the fourth quarter. Sure enough, the offense probably had its most efficient drive. If I remember correctly, they went 90-plus yards on that drive. And sure enough, got a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion to tie things up. But yeah, you are literally one of 2 missed kicks away. So I know they had the blocked or the
wasn't quite 90
PAT.
yards. It was 10 plays, 64 yards.
Oh, that was okay. I was thinking of a different drive they had, but nonetheless,
I mean, starting down 21-7, they had a 9-play, 75-yard drive, 10-play, 64-yard drive. Like they did, and got in position the next time for what should have been a go-ahead field goal. It was just a 42-yarder that was missed.
Yeah, it just hooked it left.
We're going to talk a lot about that game. It's about lack of execution. Just you change 4 plays, that game is completely different. But that's football, right? Life's a game of inches.
Well, we saw that in the fourth quarter against Georgia Tech. They were up 14-10 and had multiple possessions inside the red zone that they did not convert and get points off of.
You know what game was not a game of inches?
What's that?
The Carolina game, meaning the Panthers. Ron in Henderson is up next on the Monday Sound Off. You can call in as well. 919-860-5326. We want to hear from all of you. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Ron in Henderson wants to talk about that Panthers game and more specifically Dave Canales and Bryce Young. Ron, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, thank you. I just think Bryce Young needs some help. The offensive line is straight trash.
I'm just going to let you know. I'm going to let you make your pick. I'm going to fight back on that one a little bit, but continue.
Yeah, I mean, they just ain't blocking. They don't have enough time to play. I mean, you could put anybody out there as quarterback, but the time I've been watching them play, they ain't getting it done at all.
Now, are you saying, is this including last year?
It's this year and last year as well. I've been watching Carolina ever since they've been in existence.
All right.
And this got to be the worst by far I've ever seen.
I will. I appreciate your call. I'm going to respond. I disagree. I actually think the offensive line, nobody is perfect, by the way. Do not get me wrong. They are not, the best offensive line in the league. But this offseason, the Panthers did obviously see a need at the offensive line spot. They spent their free agency money there. Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis at the guards have been good. I think there's something better up front than has been in recent years. Again, I'm not writing sonnets about them. I'm not saying they're the best in the world, but there's a pocket to step up into most offensive pass plays. And at different times, they've run for, exceedingly impressive totals. So I do give the offensive line some credit. I'm not saying they're like the 93 Cowboys, but they are a good offensive line, at least average.
The Panthers' offense, in terms of quarterback sacked percentage, is 8th best in the NFL.
Yeah, above average.
That's well above average.
And part of that is, especially with Bryce Young, the passes seem to get out of his hand in about 0.2 seconds because he's throwing all screens and lateral stuff. Let's go to Trevor and Holly Springs. Trevor and Holly Springs next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline on a Monday Sound Off. The lines are open, 919-860-5326. Trevor and Holly Springs wants to talk Kansas City Chiefs. Trevor, what's going on, my man? Go ahead and sound off.
It sounds like the Chiefs, we really aren't even playing our best football right now, but the only team I could even see having a chance against them is like the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. What do you think?
You think that's the only team that has a chance against them?
That's what I believe. Yes, sir.
They played a one-score game against the Chargers, a one-score game against Atlanta, a one-score game against Cincy, and a one-score game against Baltimore. This past weekend was a one-score game against Vegas, if I'm remembering correctly. You don't think any of those teams have a chance?
No, the Chiefs just ain't playing good football. We just know how to win, it seems like.
All right. I appreciate the call. Call back in anytime. Gosh, that's a take that I feel like I'm Mr. driving the bandwagon for Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback of the generation. I think he's unbelievable. I don't think they're playing anywhere near good enough to say nobody has a chance against them. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Lions in the Super Bowl. I think teams have a chance. They are obviously a very, very experienced, very, very winning team. And Mahomes comes up with those plays. But, Baltimore was literally, this is not an exaggeration, literally like 4 millimeters away from beating them in the opener.
Yeah, toenail.
I think they have a chance. I think they have a chance if they match up in the postseason.
I can see the understanding of, well, look, they're undefeated and they haven't played well. Imagine when they actually start putting it together in the back half of this season. Then watch out. And Travis Kelce actually did finally catch a touchdown pass.
And Kelce, they've at least last year, they obviously kind of slammed on the brakes for him and then let him kind of truly get going in the postseason. But yeah, they just played in too many close games to say they're unbeatable. If I had to pick one team to win the Super Bowl, they're definitely in that mix. But if it's them or the field, I'm taking the field. That's I think the best way to describe it. Back to the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Lines are open. Feel free to call in. Sound off on whatever you want to sound off on. That's why we call it Monday Sound Off. We have Mike in Sanford wants to sound off on the Panthers. Mike, we appreciate you for calling in. What do you have for us?
Thank you for taking my call. I think if they put Richardson statue back up, one of the 25-foot bronze statue, when Callis bought the team, he took that statue down. I think that put a curse on the Panthers for sure.
Okay. I think I hear what you're saying. Appreciate the call, Mike. I'll break it down a little bit here. Heathrow Automotive Group hotline open, 919-860-5326. The former owner, Jerry Richardson. Okay. We got something going on here? There you go.
Putting the bat signal out there for the people once again.
That's just to let you know that
jumped the gun on football 4 there.
That is just so you know that the phone lines are open, 919-860-5326. When you hear that horn, that means go ahead and call in. So building off of what Mike was saying there, the last caller, the former owner, Jerry Richardson, had a statue. I believe there may have even been some kind of agreement when he sold the team that it wouldn't get torn down, but David Tepper bought it, and, to my understanding, immediately was like, haha, nope, what are you going to do? So it was torn down. There's complicated off-the-field stuff there. There's allegations. There's like I said, complicated off-the-field stuff happening there. So if you think that's the curse, I'm not someone that believes in superstitions, so I'm not going to be all in on that one. I think the curse is you're not playing well, you're making bad football decisions, bad coaching hires, bad draft picks, and usually those curses last until you can get a better coach and draft better players and make some good decisions. Heathrow Automotive Group hotline, like you heard just a second ago, that horn means that the phone lines are open. We want to hear from you on a Monday sound off, 919-860-5326. We have Rodney in Raleigh. He wants to talk Lions. Rodney in Raleigh, ready to get hyped up about the Detroit Lions. Appreciate the call. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, I'm one to look at stat lines, and I know the Lions scored 52 points yesterday. However, they only had like 160 some yards of total offense. I was like, what?
Yep. Are you looking for me to explain it? Because certain things can't be explained. They just have to be experienced. Yeah. And that game against Tennessee is one of them.
Yeah, explain it. I didn't see the game, but I was like, how can you score 52 points?
All right, I'll do a little bit of explaining here and appreciate the call.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
The way that happens is a few things. One, you have very, very short touchdown drives or field goal drives. So getting set up at the 23-yard line after an interception and scoring a touchdown, that's right, a lot of points, few yards. It's quick touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, 70-yarder. It's special teams touchdowns, punt return touchdowns. And what this does is allows you to get points without acquiring yards. And then once you have a massive lead, you're no longer forcing the ball downfield. You're no longer excited about taking chances. Instead, you just kind of chill. And the Panthers were up 42-14 seemingly before the third quarter began because they returned that punt return right 2 minutes into the third quarter. From that point on, you're just kind of chilling and hanging out. So weird game. Shows how bad Tennessee is, but also shows that the Lions, when they're cranking, can really get it going at a high speed.
It's bad when Panthers fans can look at the Titans and go, wow, you're bad.
Yikes. And Calvin Ridley had a good day for the Titans. He had like 140-something yards.
Yeah.
Just didn't matter, which is kind of unbelievable. John in Mount Olive wants to talk Dave Doran. How about this? NC State's on a bye, and we have the NC State NC State fan, I assume, calling in on a Monday sound off. John, thank you for calling in. What do you have to say about Dave Doran?
Yeah, bye, cupcake, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. Dave didn't get a win this weekend, so we're disappointed. But who are we kidding? We shouldn't fool ourselves. Of course, Dave not going to get a win. Another week without one. So he's probably going to make some excuse saying we didn't show up, or the fair was going on or something like that. But,
am I crazy or did they? Am I crazy or did they win last week?
Well, hey, even a blind pig finds an acorn every now and then. But look, they got to show up because Kevin Keats is a winner, and he's coming up pretty soon now. They're gonna repeat his ACC champs this year. I got a feeling. So
all right, you're on to basketball season. All right, I respect it. Yeah. Appreciate the call.
Well,
go ahead.
You can do both. Hybrid. Hybrid. Kind of like the little mascot they got down there that runs around. We're hybrid right now. We don't know. But I'm disappointed in Dave. I'm disappointed.
All right, I appreciate the call. I'd argue this. Kind of a win for NC State this weekend because they beat Cal last weekend, and Cal absolutely annihilated Oregon State this weekend. So that win looks better. Wow, that was an angry bye-week call. How about that? Let's go to Matt in Burlington next up. Heister Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. Matt in Burlington, you want to sound off on David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers. So go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, Tim. I got a good and a bad with David Tepper. I'm going to start with the bad. I was watching the Commanders and the Bears play, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, we could have had one of these quarterbacks. And when I look back to a couple of years ago, when we traded up from 9 to 1, and we didn't even know who we were going to get at that point. They said, well, we just want the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. And you trade away your number 1 receiver and all these draft picks. And it was pretty common knowledge that the draft after that one was going to be the one that had Caleb Williams and Drake May. And we didn't know this at the time, but it had Jaden Daniels as well.
Yep.
And I just think that as a football, getting into the football decisions, that is one of the worst things that we've ever seen besides the Deshaun Watson ordeal with the Browns. So that's my bad comment. On the flip side, as a person, what he did this past weekend at the Concert for Carolina, they raised $24.5 million for Western North Carolina, and he let them use the stadium for free. He paid for all of the workers, and I know we give him a lot of grief, and I just gave him grief about his football decisions, but I did want to give him a shout out for that because that was an awesome experience. I was there, and we had a rain delay, and we were out there till 1:30 in the morning, and they kept that thing rolling, and it was just a superb job by everybody involved.
Thank you very much, Matt, and I will echo a whole bunch of the sentiments you just voiced for us. That event was awesome. Luke Combs kind of spearheaded it, but the Teppers definitely provided a lot of the legwork. The stadium, as you mentioned, the workers. They raised almost $25 million that, in Luke Combs' words, was going straight up those mountains. That's awesome. That is fantastic. What I would kind of say even more so as a hat tip to the Teppers is Luke Combs is a Carolina Panthers fan, and he's been very critical of the Carolina Panthers. So when he called up and said, hey, let me use your stadium, they very easily could have said, anyone else from Carolina want to headline this bad boy? But they said, no, let's all join. Let's raise money for the western part of the state. And they raised a heck of a lot of money. I don't think that exonerates them from the football criticism, but I do think it entitles the Teppers to a certain, hat tip and a thank you from everybody in the state that is doing everything you can and everything we can to help out with everybody in their recovery mode. Stephen in Youngsville next up. Heister Automotive Group Hotline wants to talk Tiger. We got a Tiger Woods caller. You're darn right. Stephen gets on the air. Go ahead, Stephen. Sound off on Tiger Woods.
Hey, Tim, what's up, man? Well, we got to switch it up. I know it's fall, but it's beautiful weather.
It's always Tiger Woods season.
Was just curious. I saw on X a couple of days ago where Tiger has joined with this simulator golf league. It's like 6-man teams with Rory, with Morikawa and all that.
Yep.
I don't know much about it. When I saw it, I'm like, okay, is this a response? Tiger's kind of going against Liv in some way with this team-style golf. Just wondering your thoughts and want to know more about it, honestly.
Appreciate the call. I'll give you as much as I know about it. It is indoor golf. It is played on Mondays. So during the season, you don't have to miss your tour dates to go ahead and play in it. There are 6 teams. You brought up some of the guys. Rory's a captain. Justin Thomas is a captain. Tiger's a captain. Morikawa's a captain. I think it's just a way to capitalize on an empty part of the calendar. I don't think it's to go up against Liv. It is not supposed to be like quote-unquote real golf. It's supposed to show how good these guys are and fill a Monday, right? You're starting to see every sport do it. NFL's on Thursday. NFL, when they can, on Friday and Saturday. That the MAC is in the middle of the week. It's when Monday Night Football goes away, Tiger said there's some real estate there that they want to get after. And it's a way for players to make more money. Just call it what it is. Will I be watching? You're darn right. And it means we get to watch Tiger play kind of golf. If he can't walk a full 18 for 4 straight days on undulated courses, he can still play on Monday indoors with no walking. Hey, we get to watch Tiger play.
And we go sit down between swings.
Yeah, why not? Get a massage chair between swings. I guess. But it's nothing too crazy. I'm still going to watch it, though. Tyler and Raleigh next up on the Easter Automotive Group hotline on a Monday sound off. Tyler, welcome to the show. What do you want to sound off on?
I want to talk about the LA Rams.
All right. Let's hear it. Sound off.
Well, all I got to say is born and raised Raleigh, North Carolina, Rams fan, Torrey Holt, close family friend. But just, followed them all the way to L.A. I was at the Super Bowl when the Rams beat the Bengals. But ultimately, after this past Thursday and watching how dominant they were against the Vikings, can you not tell me that the Rams have to be one of the biggest threats to make a hard push with Cooper and Puka Nacua back? And I'm tired of hearing these trade rumors with Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. And I'm ready to hear about how, they can make a strong run at winning the Super Bowl.
I don't think you're the only one thinking that way. I think a lot of people changed on Thursday. I don't think the rumors that they were trading Cooper Kupp were unfounded. I think they watched Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua be healthy on Thursday and went, you know what, we can't punt this season. So I think you're right the way you're thinking now. I think a lot of people think that way. I think if you went back to Wednesday, not many people would have thought that way. Appreciate the call. We have at least one more we want to get to here before the top of the hour, so we'll move on. The other thing I'll say is that division, wide gosh darn open. Right now, Arizona leads the division at 4-4. San Fran is in second at 4-4. Seattle is in third at 4-4. And the Rams are bringing up the rear at 3-4 and just got 2 of their best players back off IR, or back off of injury. So I'm not counting anybody out of that race. Let's go back to the call-in line on a Monday sound off. Great name coming up here. We have Tim in Raleigh. Tim, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, love the show, guys. Thank you for keeping me sane on my work days driving around.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just want to sound off right here on my New York Giants, and I've been a huge New York Giants fan for my whole life, born and raised in New York, and it's just so frustrating every single game. It's like pulling teeth. And I was actually pretty excited to be able to potentially see them play in the Panthers because the Panthers were the home team. And then I found out they were playing in Germany. And even though I'm sure it was going to be a tickle fight, I still wanted to see the game. And it's just I'm not spending money to go to Germany just to watch that abomination of a game. But it's just, can you answer for me, why does it seem like the Giants can only win in like 3 different ways when any other NFL team can win 500 different ways?
I appreciate the call, and I will give you an answer here, but call back in anytime. I think it's probably the limitations of your quarterback. Daniel Jones, all the things he does well, maybe not throwing touchdowns. And when you can't throw touchdowns, not saying you can't throw at all, not saying he's never made a good throw. I'm saying he just does not find the end zone through the air enough unless it's Malik Neighbors making a Randy Moss in 1998 circus-level catch. That's going to limit your possibilities. Tonight, by the way, they're playing Monday Night Football tonight against the Steelers. So
you can listen to that here on the Fan.
Right here. Excellently played, Dennis. So don't jump.
Wait, actually, I take that back. Buzz Sports Radio.
You're right, because we have Canes here on 99.9. The
right,
Fan is a
Canes.
hockey night in Carolina. One of our stations within our network. But what I'm saying is, I have a feeling you'll probably have a different quarterback next year. So if you're looking for optimism, if you want to win in different ways, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Nussmeier, go watch some college guys and see which ones you like, because I don't know if Daniel Jones is doing enough to keep his job. Maybe you'll see something tonight that changes that, but yeah, I would actually focus on tonight because I think it's a winnable game against the Steelers. Germany, you can wait for that, right? What is it? Panthers and breakfast?
Yeah, Panthers and pancakes.
Panthers and pancakes. There it is.
We're actually going to do Panthers playbook. We're actually going to be at the Carolina Ale House in Cary to watch the game that morning. So come Tim and whomever else, come join us. Panther and Giant fan alike. Misery loves company.
There's
we can all just
actually, depending on tonight, there might not be some, because the Steelers are 5-2.
Yeah, they
are. I'm not sure that's all misery. The Giants are 2-5 though. There's a lot of misery there.
That's what I mean. Come join us.
Yeah. But basically, going back to the point, like, why does it feel like you have to win one specific way? It's because your quarterback doesn't find the end zone through the air enough. And when that's the case, you have to win with defense. You have to win running the ball. You have to win with ball possession and all that kind of stuff, and it just becomes difficult.
By the way, with one caller that called about Tiger Woods and the simulated golf and all that, Brandon in our YouTube live set said Tiger Woods playing Wii golf.
Wii golf is a good time. I don't know if it's a good time to watch. It's a good time to play.
Wii golf is amazing.
By the way, just to clear it out one time since we stumbled through it, tonight here on 99.9 The Fan, hockey night in Carolina, Canes at Vancouver at 10 o'clock. So it is a Canes After Dark to the biggest variety, which means Adam Golden's Stormwatch will be at 9:30 here on 99.9 The Fan. And if you do want to watch Monday Night Football or listen to Monday Night Football, that'll be on Buzz Sports Radio, one of our partner stations. So we're bringing it all to you. You just got to kind of figure out where to go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. When we come back, football at 4. Dave Canales losing my confidence as a head coach. And we may just open up the lines for some more sounding off. So stay around, stay ready. Football at 4 next.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk. Panthers Playbook. The Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Bryce fits it into Legette for a touchdown. And Xavier Legette does the dollar bill dance. And the Panthers quiet this crowd at Mile High.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity line of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Free rate quote now, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with a fluffy egg for only $2.50. Be a McDonald's breakfast person. Get the most important deal of the day right after you wake up. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
It's Paul Ihander for Game Day Men's Health. Are you low on energy or libido? Feeling a bit more sleepy? Losing confidence or focus? Discover health solutions and invest in your well-being at Game Day Men's Health. They offer a concierge medical clinic where you can be proactive about your health in a relaxed man cave environment. Explore options like testosterone therapy, ED solutions, weight loss, and peptides. With convenient appointments at 4 locations across the Triangle, it's never been easier to prioritize your health. Visit GameDayRaleigh.com today. Find the spot nearest you and book your free consultation. That's GameDayRaleigh.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Weather.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice afternoon for us. Partly cloudy skies with high temperatures in the upper 60s. We start a gradual warm-up today, so not quite as cold overnight. Upper 40s to around 50 under mainly clear skies. And then partly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 70, but we could jump all the way to 80 degrees by Halloween.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 274 points to 42,388. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dave Canales is losing my confidence as a head coach. And I'll tell you why. Bryce Young, we can debate till we're blue in the face, till we're Panthers blue in the face, about what is the cause of his struggles. Is it Bryce isn't good? Is it the supporting cast? Is it the play calling? Is it the development? Was he never that good? Is it his height? Is it his this? Is it his that? We can go through it all. But here's where my next question goes. Who is being used correctly? Right? Let's say Bryce, it's Bryce's fault. For the sense of the argument, it's Bryce's fault. Who is being schemed up the way that their talent says they should? Because that's what a coach does, right? You take the pieces that you're given from your GM, the players, and you find a way to get the most out of them. Even some of the players that are having success, I don't think are flashing some greatness. I don't believe are being used the way they should. According to Player Profiler, you can go look it up. It's a site it's an analytics site, kind of along the lines of Next Gen Stats. They do a bunch in the fantasy community. Xavier Legette was the second most explosive athlete at wide receiver in the draft. That's why he was taken at the end of the first round, despite only having 1 year of production in college and being a late breakout and all. It's because he had the explosiveness. He has one explosive play this year. Not exactly being given the ball in space a lot. He is 76th in explosive play rating among qualified wide receivers, which is actually below average for his position. Are you turning him into a possession receiver? Because you don't draft possession receivers in the first round unless they're the Michael Thomas kind, and he was even a second-round pick. And then you got to get him the ball 140 times for it to make sense. I look at this offense, and there's a lot to be desired. How many times have we screamed about the running game not being utilized enough or not being utilized in the most important positions? You have Robert Hunt, who is a road grader. He is a massive human that moves people off of their spot. You had a 3rd and 2 and a 4th and 2, and you ran the world's weirdest play on 4th and 2 rather than going to Chuba Hubbard behind Robert Hunt. I'll tell you what I do. I pull Robert Hunt to the right. I have Damian Lewis opening up a hole. I have Robert Hunt crashing through that hole, and I have Chuba Hubbard hand on his back just forcing his way for a couple of yards. Because that's how you use your strength. That's how you do it. Dave Canales is losing my confidence as a head coach. Bryce Young wasn't good enough, I hear you, but neither was the play calling. And Dave Canales at this point is obviously in a stage of his career where he just doesn't trust young players. He doesn't trust them to run every route in the route tree. He doesn't trust them as far as he can throw them in many cases. So much so that Sean Payton had the audacity. Sean Payton, the head coach of the Denver Broncos, had the audacity to say this postgame.
I said this, it's not a good offense we played. It's just the truth. So we expected that, and we're going to see a lot better teams.
That offense was not a good offense we played.
This was when he was asked, hey, how impressed were you with your defense today? That's what he ended up saying.
Yeah, we weren't even impressive. They were just bad, is what he was getting at.
Hey, he's like, yeah, we made good stops, but that team wasn't very good.
And do you know what the crazy part is?
What's that?
It didn't feel crazy.
Now he's like, I just find the lies.
I always say, like, that's when you know you're great, when you can just casually say, like, I'm the best out there right now. And it doesn't become headlines. The next day, like, if Michael Phelps was being interviewed and he just said, like, well, I'm the best swimmer of all time, so I know what it's like for Katie Ledecky, that's not even a highlight the next day. No one's writing stories of, like, Michael Phelps calls himself best swimmer of all time because everyone just assumes it's true. A head coach in the NFL just casually about another team said that offense is not a good offense. And today, they're not leading SportsCenter with, like, Sean Payton disrespects Panthers. Everyone just kind of went, yeah, all right. So however good Michael Phelps is at swimming, the Panthers offense is equally as bad. That's where you're at right now. The game management stuff is frustrating. The decision-making is frustrating. I thought that first series could have been a turning point, right? Complete a bunch of passes. That touchdown to Xavier Legette is not only not a tough or not an easy catch, it's not an easy throw. There's a lot of bodies around the ball, and I know it appeared like it was behind him. There were defenders there that might have gotten a hand on it if he put it, like, a foot in front of his chest. That was a good play. Did anyone do anything to build off of that play?
Nope.
Did the offense go, all right, we got a quarterback who had zilch confidence, just make a couple of nice throws and throw a touchdown. Let's build off of that confidence. Nope. And oh, by the way, he was doing it without his number 1 wide receiver, without his number 2 wide receiver. And he found a way to get something done, and it ended with a just air out of the balloon. A good coach, a good play caller, smells blood in the water. All right, we got something going. Let's take a chance. Let's see if we can build off of it. Let's see if we can get a rhythm. Let's see if we can get them on their heels. Only you got to play, and then it was like, all right, back to what we were doing. And now you have to make decisions about the future. Deontay Johnson, if you listen to Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show, which we'll play for you here in a second, he gone.
Deontay Johnson, in my mind, is going to be traded by next week. I don't know whether it'll be this week or next week, but I expect that Carolina and Deontay Johnson will part ways and each side will go its own way. And the question is where he winds up. And I think he gets traded.
So it's not going to get easier. It's not going to get easier. Now, if Andy Dalton comes out there and suddenly he's the most creative play caller in the world, it would just build into my knowledge, my observation that he doesn't like young players. Which, fine, I guess, right? There's college coaches that don't play freshmen. Used to be a lot more of them, but now one and done, you kind of have to. But there used to be coaches where freshmen aren't going to start for me. They aren't going to play closing minutes for me, and they just wanted experience. Maybe that's Dave Canales. If your age doesn't start with a 3, he doesn't want you playing quarterback for him. Maybe that's him. But then you're never going to have the truly elite quarterbacks. You're going to be trying to get it done with veteran journeymen as much as you can. Because I started having this question. This is why my confidence in Dave Canales is waning aggressively. This offseason, by the way, I think this past weekend, nail in coffin, Bryce Young's not the guy moving forward, especially not the combination of Bryce Young and Dave Canales. What kind of quarterback works with Dave Canales? Because this upcoming offseason, they're going to have to go find a guy that will work with Dave Canales. They can't fire him because they've been too impatient with Frank Reich and all that, so they don't want to be the team that just one year coaches. What quarterback works? If I'm Dan Morgan, I'm going to Dave Canales. I'm saying, who do you need me to go get? We're going to have a top draft pick. Do you want Shedeur Sanders? Do you want Cam Ward? I'm looking at it going, he won't trust those guys because he doesn't seem to like the young guys. Are you going, all right, get a veteran? Who are you looking at? Justin Fields? Who are you looking at? Gardner Minshew?
Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson? Was that what this is? Because I don't see I don't see any of those guys working.
And you know Tepper doesn't want that.
You know Tepper doesn't want. But so I'm looking at it going, if I can't think of a quarterback that would have success with you as the coach, how am I supposed to sit here and be confident with you as the coach? Because if you say like, oh, well, if you give him Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, he'll be great. I'll go, yeah. If you give me those guys, I'll find a way. Like that, and that's not a compliment to me. That's a compliment to those three guys. If you need an all-world quarterback to be successful, you're not an all-world coach. It's the reason I love the Sean Paytons when he was in New Orleans, the Andy Reids, the Kyle Shanahans. Is because if you go back and look at their history, I mean, there was a good year there from like Kevin Cobb with Andy Reid. He got it done with Alex Smith. He got it done with Michael Vick. He got it done with Donovan McNabb. He got it done with Patrick Mahomes. He got it done with all of these guys. You look at Kyle Shanahan. Nick Mullins was pretty darn good in his system. Jimmy G was pretty darn good in his system. Obviously, Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, pretty good in his system.
Matt Schaub led the league in passing.
That'll tell you right there.
Yep. That was the time when he was at the Texans.
That'll tell you right there. Remember there was a time where the Saints could plug in Taysom Hill, Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, Drew Brees get hurt, and whoever just happened to be walking by, Sean Payton was like, I'll go 4-2 with this guy. Like, that's the way the good coaches are. I'm looking at Dave Canales going, I don't know, he's not winning with Andy Dalton, not winning with Bryce Young. I don't see anyone that obviously wins with him. Where do you go from there?
He gets too cute at times. Like that 4th and 2.
100%.
That 4th and 2, I'm like, what are you doing? Like 3rd and 2, you take a shot. If you know you're going for it on 4th, hey, if we don't convert here on 3rd down, we're going to go for it on 4th. I'm like you mentioned, Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, Ike Ekwonu's best thing is run blocking. You paid all these money to these guys up front. Meat and potatoes, the damn thing. Turn and hand the ball to Chuba Hubbard and get 2 yards. And then keep the drive moving.
And then 1st down, do whatever the heck. Like, then go nuts.
Then play action, bootleg, whatever it is that you want to do. But, like trying to get cute with this read option flare pass thing to the short side of the field. I was like, you thought that was going to work all of a sudden? A play you haven't run all year? Cool.
Yeah, but he's
against one of the best defenses in the league?
Tell he's been saving it.
Yeah, for what?
For that moment. To get too cute. I'm with you, though. I agree. I think sometimes play callers, they can't help themselves. Simplicity sometimes is the best thing in the world. And the best coaches know that, by the way. The ones I was talking about. Like Isaac Garendo is killing it for the Niners and replacement of the replacement running back. Why? Because they kiss, right? They keep it simple, stupid, out there with the Niners. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, speaking specifically about the offense. Tim Donnelly here for Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, the home of the no closing cost loan. I can't predict what the markets are going to do, and just about nobody else can either, right? Interest rates up, down, today, tomorrow, next week. I can't tell you what's going to happen, and just about nobody else can either. That's the secret that nobody wants to tell you. Instead, what I can tell you is be prepared for rates going up, rates going down, rates staying the same. Be prepared for it by getting a no closing cost loan. That's all you can do. I can't predict the weather, but I can tell you to carry an umbrella if you're wearing suede, right? All you can do is be prepared. Miller Lending wants to give you a mortgage with no money out of your pocket. No costs, no fees, no closing costs. Zero means zero. That way, if rates drop next week, you refinance, do it again, no different to you. But if rates go up next week, you're locked in with the rate you got today. It's that simple. Stay flexible, stay prepared, make it happen. Give them a call right now. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have our ladder challenge and the podium. Which college football team in the Triangle was the best over the weekend? Spoiler alert, it's obvious. Stick around, more of The Drive next.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
The Blue Devils up 21-20, and they got their arms reaching for that bell.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med, Sammy's Tap and Grill, and Roofworks.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer Duster. Love it or your money back.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Ironically, because I used KISS, the acronym, before the break, this is what should be played for Dave Canales right now. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Run the ball.
And there's a reason why I actually chose this song.
Let your best players do the best player thing. All your wide receivers are hurt, or at least your top 2. Run the ball. Or backup quarterback who might be your starting quarterback, who might be your backup quarterback, run the ball.
Or use your first-round wide receiver.
Look at that. Get the ball in space. All right, let's get something optimistic here for you. Text keyword SILVER, SILVER, to 919-860-53226. I'll say that again in a minute for you. The keyword SILVER for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Sarah Silverman, stand-up comedian.
Nice.
At DPAC on November 8th. Again, 919-860-5326 is the number to text in. Text 2. The word to text in is silver. And you just might win a pair of tickets to see Sarah Silverman at DPAC on November 8th.
I'm going to that show.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm a big stand-up comedian fan. I have not seen Sarah Silverman yet, but
neither have I.
She is like very well known in the community, kind of a comedian's comedian. So I'm excited to see how you report back the show is.
I did go see Lewis Black. Super entertaining as always.
That was my Lewis Black impression. Was it good?
The show or your impression?
Either.
Show was great.
Yeah, all right. Well played. Let's go ahead and jump into the ladder challenge. Shout out to Graham Hill. He represented me on a little under total runs in a World Series game. That bad boy hit. So now I have $13.70 today in our ladder challenge. We are just a couple days away from the end of the month. Dennis or I will win. I'm not taking my foot off the gas.
Yeah.
I'm going for it. You go first, though. I want to hear what Dennis has.
All right. I also won back on Friday with a couple shots on goal by good old Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights.
So we're both rolling over our winnings. We're seeing who has the most in the at the end of the month. We started with $10. We've had to restart a few times each, but now we are cruising.
I've had my $12.40. I'm going with Zach Hyman of the Edmonton Oilers with 2+ shots on goal, minus 600.
You're all about shots on goal.
Well, Zach Hyman is averaging about 3 shots on goal per game. So I feel good about him getting 2. They're also playing Columbus. They're not a very good team. So, yes, Zach Hyman, 2+ shots on goal.
I'm going to Monday Night Football.
All right.
I'm taking a alternate total. Okay. So I'm teasing the over-under all the way down to 24.5 points.
Okay.
This is, as we talked about earlier, Giants and Steelers. On Monday Night Football, you'd have to go all the way back to Week 12 of last year to find a Monday night game that did not hit over 24.5. And in the last 2 seasons, because there are multiple Monday night games towards the end of last season at the beginning of this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's 16 straight games that have hit the over on Monday Night Football of over 24.5.
Okay.
The last 2 years, it's been 29 out of 30. Only that Week 12 Monday Nighter last season has not hit. And by the way, in that game, Josh Dobbs was the quarterback for Minnesota, and he threw 4 interceptions. So as long as that doesn't happen, which I don't think we'll see from Russell or Daniel Jones, we might not see a light show, but we won't see 4 interceptions either. Over 24.5 points. It's about minus 720, which will take my money up to $15.60.
Gosh, we're going to get 13-10 tonight. You watch.
Better not. I'd be very, very frustrated if we do. I mean, Malik Neighbors will score. Najee Harris will score. Russ might run one in. I don't know. Let's get crazy. Daniel Jones might run one in. Let's get nuts. So anyway, that's how it's going to be. And then I'll take my $15.60 tomorrow and keep cruising towards Thursday, which will be the last day we have to make money for our competition. That's the ladder challenge. If you like the bets, you can tail them. If you don't, you can let us know on social media how dumb we are. At Donnelly Sports for me, at The Fan Rookie for Dennis. Now let's jump into the podium. You hear the music. Every Monday, we look at the 3 teams in the triangle and Wake Forest. The 4 North Carolina state of North Carolina ACC teams. It is a 1-week award. We give somebody the gold, somebody the silver, somebody the bronze, and somebody's off the podium. We start with the off the podium. Duke. They lost to SMU 28-27. Specifically, I'm going Duke's offense and special teams is off the podium because their defense does not deserve to be off the podium. They forced 6 turnovers and somehow didn't win the game.
They got 0 points off of those 6 turnovers.
And 3 of them at least, 3 in the second half, all set you up on the going into score side of the field.
All in the fourth quarter in plus territory.
That's brutal. Actually, let's hear from Manny Diaz. How about that? Manny Diaz, head coach of Duke, on not getting points off of all of those turnovers.
I think it was 5-0 in turnovers. We probably have to go back a long time before somebody won turnovers 5-0 and lost a football game. But ultimately, it's about points off of turnovers and our inability to capitalize, and you have to give them credit. those were two of the top 3 defenses in the ACC, and they made it difficult on us. So we made some improvements. In some aspects of our game, we improved today, but ultimately it was not enough to get the job done. I think that's what's so harsh on our kids. But that's sports, right? I mean, it's not, you don't always get what you deserve, and you had a game where two teams were going back and forth, and ultimately we ended up 1 play away.
It was actually 6 turnovers. He forgot about the one right before half.
Yeah.
This is how they went in the fourth quarter alone. Snagged an interception when it was 21-21 to set up Duke in plus territory. That's the going inside of the field, where any points give you the lead. They come away with nothing. They snagged another interception when it was 21-21, setting up Duke's offense in the plus side of the field. That's the going in to score side of the field. They came away with nothing. They recovered a fumble and returned it down to the SMU 14-yard line with 58 seconds left when the score was 21-21. All you had to do was run out the clock, kick a field goal. You win. The field goal was blocked. It's a really, really tough game. Here's why. On offense, they didn't turn the ball over at all. Can't do better than that. But Duke went 0 for 2 on 4th downs. That's going to be a problem. They had to punt after taking over on the 39-yard line. They missed 1 field goal. They had a 30-yarder blocked to win the game. That's what I just described. There's a reason why Any Given Sunday is a movie that came out decades and decades ago, but the life's a game of inches. Just like football, speech is so darn famous to this day. In the most important moments, Duke's offense and Duke's special teams did not execute, despite the fact that the defense kept giving them mulligans. That's cool. I know you didn't execute in that wildly important situation. We'll get another turnover and give you another chance. All right, that's cool. You didn't do it that time. Let's set you up even better with under a minute to go. Still couldn't make it happen. It's like Malik Murphy, 295 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Whew, that's a good day.
I stood down on the field for a good chunk of that game. That dude can spin it. My goodness.
But 27 out of 48, 56% completion.
Yeah. Oh, I will say this.
Probably not getting it done.
He can spin it, but he's inconsistent on intermediate throws. Like, he puts some stuff in the dirt or throws them wide. He throws a great deep ball, but he's just a little inconsistent on intermediate throws, especially towards the sidelines.
It's a game of execution. No, I agree with you. It's a game of execution. It's a game of making the handful of plays, and it's what every coach will tell you. Football so often comes down to 3 or 4 plays. The issue is, at the beginning of the game, you don't know when they're going to come, right? You don't know that a blocked field goal, that one you did know. You don't know that a play in the first half that doesn't end in a touchdown, that's an overthrow, is going to be the decider. So you have to just do your best on every single play because it might be the one that decides things. We're talking too long about Duke here off the podium. Let's jump to bronze. Bronze, NC State. Bye week, didn't win, didn't lose, but one of your wins got better. Cal destroyed Oregon State.
There you go.
44-7 in knockout fashion. Everything was going right for Cal. Running back getting tackled, short yardage gain. He flips it to the quarterback. Quarterback runs for a touchdown. One of those days. It was just their day. So, Cal looking good. It's good for NC State. You finish with the bronze. Silver, Wake Forest. 27-24 win over a Power 5 team for Wake. An ACC opponent. Bachmeier threw 3 touchdowns, game-winning field goal, 1:48 left. And then on top of that, defense got the interception to seal it. It's a good day for Wake. They stay alive for some goals. I don't know if it's likely, but 4-4, you're still hunting bowl eligibility.
Yeah, they're on the road at Stanford, and then that's where they got that win. They're off this week, and then they welcome in Cal.
Cal, I think it's a long shot. I think Cal's probably better than them. Their defense is good.
Yeah.
UNC next week, probably a long shot, especially if UNC plays the way they've played. The next week, Miami, that's the longest shot. They're top 5 team in the country. Duke the next week, probably a long shot. They're 6-2 and playing well. But you still have that shot. They may be long shots.
4-4.
But you still have them because you beat Stanford 27-24, silver medal.
Just try and win 2.
Gold goes to UNC. Make it easy for us. This one's out of the judge's hands.
Yeah.
We said, yep, gold medal for you. Didn't have to make the decision.
They looked so good. And I know you and I have talked about it so much about how we love a lot of their individual pieces and talents. Like, why haven't they just put it together? Oh, look at that. They put it together, and look what happens.
This is one that's a good, like, oh, okay, good, I know I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Because you lose 4 straight, you start to question yourself, like, are those guys talented that I think are talented? They're not winning any games. So is this, what am I not seeing? Then they have a game like that, and I go, nope, yep. I knew what was in there. 41-14 win over UVA. UVA, like I said this earlier, they're not playing their best football. They're not a juggernaut by any stretch. They are 4-4, so it's not like a below 500 team. They came into the game above 500. But they now, having lost to UNC, they've lost their last 3. But UNC would have beaten a much better team with that effort on Saturday. Now it's about replicating it if you're UNC. How do you do that again? How does that pass rush, which had 15 sacks coming into the game through 7 games and had 10 against UVA by themselves in that one game, how do you do it again? Mac Brown was asked if there's any difference in how they prepared for the game or how they practiced. Here's his answer.
I really didn't. The thing that's been amazing about these kids, they practice good all the time. And they're happy in practice. They're having fun. Pro scouts that come out, we've lost 3 in a row, and they say, God, you wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't think it. And then when they got in the game, they got worried, I think, and again, maybe it's my fault, that they felt so much pressure to win that they get uptight in the games and they haven't had confidence, and we haven't consistently played well. And today was a new start. We buried Tylee. We're in a position where we've got a stretch here of new, fresh games. We got the offensive line healthy. Randy's doing better. He's healthier. You get Kamen back. So we said, let's start over.
Kamen Rucker was a monster. 3 sacks and an interception from the defensive front. Not to mention, or actually, I don't know why I said not to mention. Also to mention, give a shout out to the big boy. Javari Ritzy, 290 pounds, had an 80-yard interception return for a touchdown. That, to me, is the equivalent of what I was talking about with Cal, where the running back was getting tackled and he decided to flip it to the quarterback, and the quarterback ran in for a touchdown. Someday it's just your day. Ritzy getting the interception off a tip ball and hoofing it up the sideline, shaking off tacklers, extending, like pulling away from the defense on the run. Yeah, some days it's just your day. Saturday was your day for UNC. And do you know might be the most excited person for it? So I was at a wedding, my cousin's wedding over the weekend, and my uncle, who was the father of the groom father of the cousin that was getting married, he played football at Duke. There was also my cousin's husband there who played baseball at UNC. There are a lot of Duke fans around. This one UNC fan just bringing up the stats. Y'all see the score? See what happened at the UNC game? It's a good one when you're winning 41-14. It's a good one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's so much going on, I forgot to remind everybody to get ready for your first goal scorer. First goal scorer, it's a game we play every single Canes weekday game here on The Drive, where if you call in and you're one of the 3 official contestants that we bring on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, and you get it right, you have to predict who's going to score the first goal for the Canes and in what period they will score it. If you get it right, you get an awesome gift card to the ultimate sim racing experience, Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Unleash your racing passion. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sorry, I threw you off there.
Learn more at apexracinglab.com. I'll use that as an excuse. I don't think it really threw me off.
We actually had someone win on Thursday last week.
Let's go.
Patrick down at Garner had Jarvis in the first.
Yeah, that was a good one from Jarvie, too. Jarvie's got a little swag working today, or this year. Heister Automotive Group hotline. Call in now, 919-860-5326. Who's going to score the first goal, and in what period will they score it? I'll give you mine. As Dennis corrals the official contestants. I'm using this as a wish. So far, pretty much everything we've asked for of the Canes, they've done this year. I think they're on fire. I'm going Jalen Chatfield in the first. Jalen Chatfield has no points yet this season. I think that ends tonight, and I think it's from distance.
Okay.
Why? Because it seems like everything we ask for happens. Ask for Martin Necas to get going. He's got 6 points in the last 3 games. Asked for Sebastian Aho to have a superstar moment. He scored with 7 seconds left in overtime. Asked for Svech to have his moment. He scored the opener against Seattle. I wanted Kochetkov to step up a couple games ago. He had a poke check. He had some highlights. Really played well and got his first career point on an empty netter assist. What else do you want? Kokaniemi to score. KK has been a great assist man thus far. Maybe you want him to score. I want Sean Walker and Jalen Chatfield to get points in the points column. So I'm starting with Jalen Chatfield on this one.
All right.
Let's go to the callers. Jim in Hillsboro. Who do you think scores the first goal, and in what period do they do it?
I'm going to go with KK in the first.
Oh, so another guy breaking a little bit of a schneid here, breaking a drought, because he has a bunch of points, just no goals.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I like him as a distributor, but I hear what you're saying. Appreciate it, Jim. You are locked in. Kokaniemi in the first. I will stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you. That brings us to Jeff and Wilson. Jeff, are you there?
What's up?
All right, Jeff. You're a little staticky, so say it clearly. Who scores the first goal and in what period?
I'm going to go with Gostisbehere in the first.
The Ghost in the first. I like it. He slowed down a little bit on goal scoring, but he was on fire just a handful of games ago. Stay on the line, Jeff and Wilson. You have you have to make sure Dennis gets your info. Let's go to another Jeff. Jeff in Raleigh. Which Cane scores the first goal, and in what period do they do it?
Yeah, give me Necas in the first.
Necas in the first. He's been producing quite a few points. He's playing well, so I'm with it on that one. Jeff, again, stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you. So the locked-in first goal scoring predictions that are in the running for the Apex Racing Lab gift certificate are Jim, who has Kokaniemi in the first, Jeff and Wilson, who has Gostisbehere in the first, and Jeff and Raleigh, who has Necas in the first. I like the confidence, all first-period scorers. Now we just get to see which one's right. Like I said, the Canes are one win away from absolutely dominating their 6-game State Fair road trip. It's already a successful trip. They've won 4 of their last 5, 4 of their 5 since leaving home. They have one more game before returning back for a 4-game homestand. I mean, there's very little that you have your key points, right? Especially when you host a radio show. Things you want to see. There's very little at any point in time I've asked for that hasn't come true. Jackson Blake. Go back to the preseason. What did I want? For those that listen to the show, I said it over and over and over again, broken record style. I wanted at least one rookie in the opening day lineup, and I wanted him to look like a veteran as quick as possible. I wanted that rookie there. I wanted the guys that they're developing to get to show how good they are. Jackson Blake was in the opening day lineup, and he has looked like a vet, not forcing anything. High hockey IQ, making some highlight plays. Like I said, Kokaniemi, I like him. Obviously, I do want to see him score goals, and I like that Jim called for it. Mm-hmm. But 4 points on the 5-game road trip thus far, all assists. I mean, that's like a pass-first center out there. Dennis, we haven't gotten your prediction yet. Do you have a first goal scorer for us?
I was leaning towards the blue line. I know you did the same thing with Chatfield. I'm going to go with my guy, Sean Walker, in the second.
Okay, so
Sean Walker in the second.
Starts a little slow.
I think it's going to be goose eggs in the first. A lot of scoring chances. Goose eggs in the first. Sean Walker early in the second. Brandon on our YouTube live chat said, "Give me Martinook in the first."
Hey,
late
Party
in
Marty.
the first specifically.
I'm not worried about Party Marty, but a little quiet to start the year. But
he's just doing his thing. Which, by the way, in net tonight is Pyotr Kochetkov. Backing him up is Spencer Martin because I know we haven't touched on this today.
Give me the details.
Freddie Anderson.
Do we have details?
Lower body injury. So Rob Brindamore said, quote, Freddie came up a little gimpy after the game in Seattle. I'm not sure exactly the length or how long he's going to be out. Obviously, we're hoping not too long, but he'll get checked out when we get back home.
All right, we'll have to wait and see.
Piotr was set to start as it was anyway because they've just been alternating back and forth. So maybe it's just kind of like, he needs like a night to not suit up and he's good to go, Saturday. Like next Saturday, that is. Or no, this Saturday, I should say. We're back home Thursday against Boston. Yep. So, this coming Saturday.
5-6 days.
Okay, if he's back by then, all right. And then Coach Chekhov starts on Thursday. Oh, okay. Then you didn't miss anything. But now if he's out for a length of time, that's concerning, especially we all know the injury history that Freddie Anderson has dealt with.
This is where, and I'm not the first to say it, and I will not be the last. It's just frustrating how little information we get about injuries in the NHL.
That's how they keep it.
Which again, I'm not saying the Canes are doing something that's just the league that they play in. Maybe I don't even want to. I'm not going to even say anything. We know the details. We just reported the details. You now have the details. Do with that as you see fit. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll hope for Jim, Jeff, or Jeff to win a sweet Apex Racing Lab gift certificate by getting one of those right. If it is Dennis or I that get it right, you will hear from us as well. That'll be just gloating. We're going to take a break. When we come back, both Duke and UNC had exhibition basketball games, and they won by a combined 1 trillion points. What did we learn about Duke and UNC? Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
I asked AI about the Panthers season, and to sum it up in slang, basically it said they're trying to play chess while everyone else is playing checkers. The defense giving up freebies like it's a charity event. Fans low-key bummed just scrolling through highlights of better days. It's a whole vibe of, please make it stop. AI ain't wrong.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing the rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There was I mentioned I was at the family wedding over the weekend. They know, obviously, what I do for a living. One of the more popular questions I was asked, is Duke basketball actually that good? A lot of Duke fans there. As I mentioned, my uncle, who was the father of the cousin getting married, played at Duke, played football at Duke. Duke basketball is a wagon this year. They destroyed Arizona State in their exhibition game. Absolutely dismantled them. If I'm Bobby Hurley, the head coach of Arizona State, I'm looking at Duke like, what the heck, guys? You brought me back. I had the videos with Coach K. We talked about the brotherhood. We called it like the brotherhood exhibition or whatever. And then we went out there and you beat the brakes off my guys.
Hey, I thought we were family here, man.
I thought this was like, hey, let's get a good run. Let's get a sweat in. And you just absolutely beat the brakes off us. Here's the difference. And actually, I'm going to give a hat tip to Dennis's co-host on Panthers Playbook, Chris Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Because he tweeted this out. I watched the Duke basketball game in full this morning, traveling, doing a bunch of stuff yesterday, but I had it taped. Chris Lee tweeted this out, basically the sentiment. So I think he might have incepted me, right? Might have been Inception and put it in my brain so then I was looking for it.
Okay.
Obviously, the Duke talent was there, but it was the effort that stood out. It was the effort that stood out. We know that Cooper Flagg is going to be one of the top, if not the top pick. We know that Malawash is going to be shortly drafted after him. We know that Con Knippel has been, everybody's buzzy freshman of the preseason. We know that Proctor and Foster are going to be the vet. Like, we know where the talent is. That effort was stark. Diving for loose balls, hustling, getting excited after big plays, even after the game was long since no longer in doubt. It felt like someone might slap the ground, which hasn't happened at Duke for a while. And you don't do it in exhibition games, and you definitely don't do it in blowout exhibition games, but it felt like someone might just because that was the effort and intensity they were putting in. They hustled more than I've seen Duke hustle in the last 2 or 3 years, and it was an exhibition game. Which is part of the reason why, I think sometimes, not all the time, but it's why Duke always has so many haters, is it feels like they just expect things to come their way. This year's team didn't look that way. It looked like they were going to go get it. It looked like they were going to go take it. Is it overreacting to an exhibition game? Probably, but it's the only thing we have to go off of. I think teams take on the image of their best player. Filipowski and Cooper Flagg are different personalities. Flip, let's be real. There was a lot of missed shots followed by whining to the ref. Right? There was a lot of trying not to get in foul trouble. Like, that's just kind of how he played. Cooper Flagg, you can like him, you can hate him. I assume he's going to have a bunch of haters nationally. It's just kind of next in that run of Duke player. But he'll flex on you after his teammate dunks. I think that's a cool thing for a player who could dunk on you himself. The effort is what stood out. Other than that, I just think Duke was overmatching Arizona State. I'm not taking away a ton of like, this guy played well or this guy played a lot. This guy played well with that guy, because I think Shire could have rolled out a bunch of different lineup opportunities and they would have found success. UNC, on the other hand, I saw some worry. I'm not worried. Let's just get that out of the way. UNC smacked around Johnson C. Smith, which is up near Charlotte.
Yeah, Division II school.
The Golden Bulls. Here's why I saw just a hint of concern, not from me, from others. The Golden Bulls pulled within a bucket. They were within 2, about 8.5 minutes left in the first half. 25-23, more than 10 minutes into the first half. And when you're playing the Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls of the Division II ranks, and you are the 9th-ranked team in the country with one of the Wooden Award candidate favorites on your team, you're probably not stoked, right? You're probably not excited. I don't care about it at all. I'm going to say this in a very sarcastic way. I hope you pick up on my sarcasm. You're telling me the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, led by one of, if not the best player in the country, didn't get pumped up for the start of an exhibition game that doesn't count towards anyone's stats or schedules or rankings versus Johnson C. Smith? You're telling me they didn't come out hair on fire for that one? You don't say. The only thing I care about is how did they respond. All right, you started slow. Johnson C. Smith's in their Super Bowl. They came out all firing. Did you wake up? Well, what happened from that point forward? It was 25-23, a little over halfway through the first half. What happened then? They went on a 34-11 run to end the half and ended up winning 127-63. From that point forward, from 25-23, from that point forward, you beat them, what is that, 102-40?
There's your on-air math.
That is, and I didn't do that's not in my notes. That was all up here. So if I'm wrong,
you'll get fact-checked.
Just shows why I shouldn't be doing on-air math. Ian Jackson, Seth Trimble, R.J. Davis all had their moments as scorers. Elliot Cadeau had 8 assists. Cade Tyson, 100% from 3 on 2 shots, but still. The team out-rebounded Johnson C. Smith 54-24. The exhibition served its purpose. It did. They played well, and Hubert Davis has a few things to harp on to get their attention in practice.
And R.J. Davis didn't play against Memphis in that exhibition game.
They worked him in. He got his 15.
Exactly.
There's 0% worry about the Tar Heels coming from me. I mean, honestly, if they were close at halftime, I still would be like, well, did they win by 60 in the second half? I'm all right. As long as the game didn't end up close, like truly getting down to the nitty-gritty of like embarrassment. If that doesn't happen, then I'm not worried. I think both Duke and UNC are undervalued nationally as the 7th and 9th best teams in the country in the AP poll. I think they're both legitimate national title contenders. Do they need a few breaks to go their way? A few players to step up? Yes. But guess what? There's like 4 teams in history that were national title contenders and didn't need a few things to go their way, a few players to play above their level.
Everyone needs a break.
There's not, and actually, you probably argue like 1 or 2 of them each came from Duke or North Carolina as far as teams that were just going to win the national championship, off of pure unbridled domination. I don't think there is a team in college basketball that way this year, but I think if you're picking a national title contender, you could do so unbelievably far worse than picking Duke or UNC. And nothing that happened in their exhibition games takes me off of that path. I mean, would you like for, to dominate an Arizona State rather than a Johnson C. Smith? Yeah, maybe. But in the scheme of things, I don't think either really matters.
I think you talk about Duke, you mentioned what Chris Lee had mentioned about the effort and the diving on the floor and things like that. I mean, that's just a mentality thing. Like, that's not a skill thing. That's just a mentality and effort thing. And if you're going to bring that on a consistent basis, night in and night out, along with your skill and your talent, yeah, you're going to be a force to reckon with.
It's always like hard work beats talent. My thought always is, unless the talent is working hard too.
Exactly.
Like that's the combo that becomes something special. We'll see if they keep it up all year, though. It's not the easiest thing. It's easy, like, Cooper Flagg, Common Malawash, all these guys, their first, big game, first Power 5 opponent, even though it's an exhibition, you come out hair on fire. It's more difficult when you're playing like, your 6th game of November.
Yeah. November 16th when you're at home at noon against Wofford.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little different to show up then, ready for a fist fight and crazy eyes. But if you can do that every single game, it's a huge advantage. It's just a massive advantage. I always say this. The pregame speech in like the Duke Carolina game or the Duke State game, pregame speech could be anything. You could be up there not even making sense. Just basketball, hard work, yes, you, go play. Team on 3. And everyone would be like, and you'd go running out. If you can have that kind of energy every game, not just the ones that you circle on your schedule, it's a huge advantage. But and I don't think, no disrespect to the individuals, I don't think Duke's had that the past 2, 3, 4 years. This year they might. UNC, I think, could have that, right? So it's like UNC the past few years has just been so darn veteran that it felt like nothing was going to like work Armando Bacot or RJ Davis, and they're like, yeah, we've seen it. Oh, are we down 10 on the road? All right. Seen it, been here, won games, lost games, know how it goes. I think Drake, by the way, Drake Powell, just to show you like the specifics, the block he had with like 40 seconds left in the game in the second half, unbelievable effort from a freshman. And it's like, that's the youthful energy you need. Blowout game near the end, doesn't matter. Two-hand block against the board. Make that work. I like the energy from both teams. I'm excited about the ACC. I'm excited about the ACC here in the Triangle.
By the way, 1 week from today.
Is that when it all gets started?
1 week from today. UNC's at home against Elon. Duke is at home in that game against Maine. If I remember correctly, NC State.
I can tell you right now.
They're playing South Carolina upstate. All at home. All three schools at home 1 week from today. The basketball season officially tips off 1 week from today.
I live my life about one day at a time, so I had no clue. But that is fantastic. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. Before we do, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. What if you could be debt-free by this January? I'm talking about all that high-interest debt. Pay off all your credit cards, your car loans, consolidate everything into one lower payment. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to get your home or your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto, they got rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this with Loan Pronto save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity lines of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today, and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com, free rate quote now, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, starting five, the World Series is going on tonight. Duke UNC football, Duke UNC basketball, Canes on fire, Bryce Young. What's going on there? It's all coming up next. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
There's a rebound you're talking about, and they score! Marty Necas to the Century Club, his 100th career goal, has Carolina up 3-0.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 9:30. Puck drop at 10.
Back to Slavin. He shot right on. Rebounds out in front. Chance out front. They score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey Raleigh homeowners, this is Keith Gregory, Vice President with Baker Home Exteriors, but more importantly, a homeowner like you. I invite you to join the thousands who have trusted us to service and upgrade their homes. We treat every home as the sanctuary it is, transforming and preserving homes with roofing, siding, doors, decks, and window services for over a century. Trust our expert team for professional installation. Visit bakerroofing.com and schedule a time with our team.
All I wanna know is, can I get a hot and spicy patty, the McNuggets so crisp, and the fries go to yellow, yeah, McDonald's don't miss, yeah. Order on the app or the drive-thru quick, yeah. $5, that's some deal, yeah. McDonald's money, I got McDonald's money.
At participating McDonald's. At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel. chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2. At T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
24 monthly bill credits eligible traded on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credits stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Chilly night ahead, but temperatures are about to rise. 47 low tonight, mostly cloudy for your Tuesday. It's a 20% chance for a shower later on during the afternoon. The high up to about 72.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell, up 273 points today to 42,387.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
It is time for the starting 5 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. And as always, we start with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And it's intercepted, tipped, and then caught by Ritzy. And the big fella.
I played the wrong one, but that's fine. Go on.
I could listen to a big man touchdown all day.
Yeah, well, you got the big man touchdown.
Ritzy with the 80-yard interception return for UNC. Before we get to that, though, Dodgers-Yankees, World Series Game 3 tonight, 8:08 opening pitch. Kind of a must-win for the Yankees. And hopefully for the Yankees, and maybe not the most dramatic things in the world, because they keep ending up on the wrong side of the dramatics in this one. I haven't been around to talk about the Freddie Freeman Grand Slam. He did the thing that we all talk about in our backyards when you don't have anyone to play with, so you're just making it up. You're doing the make-believe. Bases loaded. Bottom half of the inning, ready to send his team to a World Series victory. And there it goes. And there it goes. Awesome bat flip, because it wasn't a bat flip. It was a bat drop, which is just swagged out. I mean, there has to be no better feeling than knowing off the bat immediately you just hit a grand slam to win a World Series game. Freddie Freeman living out dreams. Dodgers lead the series 2-0, but now they're in the Bronx. You're going to see the Yankees go. I mean, if you have like 2 bad pitches in a row, they're going to the bullpen.
Oh yeah.
It's all hands on deck for this one. I don't have a horse in this race. I don't like the Yankees. I don't like the Dodgers. I actually dislike both of them. So I hope the Yankees win. I just want an entertaining deal. I want this one to go 6-7 games.
As someone who predicted Dodgers in 6, I do need a Yankee win tonight. It's a weird thing to say.
And I'd like to see Aaron Judge do something, just because I get frustrated. Baseball is such a big sample size sport. I hate when guys are like unbelievable during the regular season. They hit a 2-week cold stretch, and then their fans think they're the worst person in the world because they didn't play well in the postseason. I'm like, it's just bad luck. So I hope Aaron Judge does something cool tonight. I hope he hits like 2 home runs.
That'd be cool.
And they win, just to keep the momentum going. But it's been an entertaining postseason for baseball throughout the entirety. And I look forward to hopefully more of it. ESPN Matchup Predictor has the Yankees at a 60.7% chance to win.
Yeah, home field.
Is that
They're
important?
due.
They are favored by 1.5, which is kind of the standard line in baseball, but still. Over under 8.5.
Hammer.
Let's hit some home runs. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
From the shotgun, a snap. Murphy to throw, looking to the left, end zone shot. It is caught. Eli Pankel for the touchdown.
Eli Pankel, wide receiver for Duke, he's got a nose for the end zone.
He really does.
The guy catches like 30% of this is a little exaggeration, but like 30% of the passes he catches are touchdowns.
It's interesting because when he got to Duke, he was known as a speed guy, but he pretty much missed all last season because of injury, or maybe did miss the whole year. Then now he's kind of turned into more of like possession receiver, red zone threat. I mean, it's working for him. He's catching a lot of targets in the red zone, scoring a lot of touchdowns.
He's got 36 catches, 6 of which are touchdowns.
It's a good ratio.
That's unbelievable. Duke didn't win the game, though.
They did not.
Duke didn't win the game, though. Lost in overtime to SMU. Brutal loss.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it's hard. The degree of difficulty is unbelievable. To win the turnover battle, 6 turnovers to none. The Duke Blue Devils did not turn the ball over at all. They forced 6 turnovers, and they lost the game. That is wildly difficult. It's not what you were trying to do, but at least it's rare. Matter of fact, Manny Diaz, after the game, talked about how they did force all of those turnovers, and they got 0 points off of the turnovers. Here's the head coach of the Blue Devils.
I think it was 5-0 in turnovers. You probably have to go back a long time before somebody won turnovers 5-0 and lost a football game. But ultimately, it's about points off of turnovers and our inability to capitalize, and you have to give them credit. Those were 2 of the top 3 defenses in the ACC, and they made it difficult on us. So we made some improvements. In some aspects of our game, we improved today. But ultimately, it was not enough to get the job done. I think that's what's so harsh on our kids. But that's sports, right? I mean, it's not you don't always get what you deserve, and you had a game where 2 teams were going back and forth, and ultimately we ended up 1 play away.
I can't emphasize this enough. If you said, wait a second, you said there were 6 turnovers, coach said 5-0. There's 6 turnovers. I believe Manny Diaz just forgot the one right before half where they forced a fumble, and then 2 plays later was halftime. I can't emphasize this enough. Head football coaches obsess over turnovers. The fact that you forced so many turnovers that your head coach lost track is an unbelievable accomplishment. And then to have that much and not win the game is an unbelievable travesty. And it comes down to just execution. Comes down to making your field goals. They missed one, they had one blocked, both of which would have won the game at the end. It comes down to just picking up 4th downs. 0 for 2 on 4th down. You have all those extra possessions and you can't come away with the win. It's an offense and special teams, not a big thing. It's not like, some glaring problem that popped up often. It's the 3 or 4 times when you have absolutely got to have it plays, you absolutely got to have it. And they didn't have it in those moments. It's going to be a tough one. There's a lot of film that's going to go, if you would have just completed this pass, if you would have just had good footwork, if you would have just anchored in a little bit tougher on the field goal block, if you would have just, and that's a hard one to deal with. But it was a top 25 team in the country. Mm-hmm. Duke looked, I would say, the superior most of the game, which maybe it's not a moral victory. I hate that term, but there's something to build a little bit of confidence off of there. On the flip side, UNC, you want to talk about something to build off of? 41-14 win over UVA.
Had themselves a day.
10 sacks from the defensive line and defensive front. 2 interceptions by the defensive line. Omarion Hampton, 100 yards, couple touchdowns. J.J. Jones, bunch of yards receiving, couple touchdowns. Jacoby Criswell did the thing that the game manager's supposed to do and get the ball to your playmakers. There was a lot of good for UNC. Mac Brown has to feel like that bye week was like some kind of portal, not a transfer portal, some kind of like portal to the top of the potential I've been racking my brain for this all day, right? What was different? I will say this. Could be you finally had a 100% Cayman Rucker. Go to find the clip. I'm switching up here on clips. Can you find the clip of Mac Brown talking about it being the best win since week 1? Mac Brown said this was the best win for UNC since they beat Minnesota on the road in week 1. We'll play that audio for you in a second. But it also happens to be the first game since then that Cayman Rucker had a sack. He had 1 sack in the opener. He had 3 sacks against UVA. Here's Mac Brown.
I've said all along this is a team that I thought would keep getting better, and we showed that Saturday. That's the best we've played as a game, as a team, the entire game since Minnesota. And Minnesota's turned out to be a really good team. As I said, their quarterback's playing well. They jumped all over Maryland this weekend. They beat USC. They're having a tremendous year. But the guys played free. They played loose. I thought they had fun. They looked like they had confidence, and that's something that we haven't seen for an entire game for a while.
It's also perhaps the first time they had Cayman Rucker 100%. Because he did play last game against Georgia Tech, but wasn't nearly as effective as we're used to seeing him. He was more effective than we're used to seeing him against UVA. But maybe, he's crucial. He played the first game. He was then hurt for whatever that is, 5 games. Played against Georgia Tech, but didn't appear, at least not to me, as effective as he should be if he's 100% healthy. Then against UVA, 3 sacks and an interception. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's the thing I'm looking for. What was different about this team? They got their best defensive player back. If that's the case, I mean, if you're a superstitious person, you carry around your lucky rabbit's foot and you say, and you're a UNC fan, and you say Cayman Rucker stay healthy the rest of the game or rest of the season, because those teams were not the same teams. The one we saw the past 4 games and the game we saw on Saturday, that was not the same team. Technically, it might be the same jersey, same people, different team. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. Do we have a clip, Dennis?
Knipple 2-on-1 with James. Going to take it himself, put it off the window and down.
That was Sion James scoring for Duke, I believe?
Con Knipple.
Con Knipple. Oh, it was James from anyway.
Yeah.
Duke, UNC, both played exhibition games over the weekend. Basketball. Dennis pointed this out earlier. 1 week until real games?
Yeah, literally 1 week. 1 week from today, folks.
1 week from today, we will be prepping for real life, real games that count. Basketball, college basketball games.
November 4th, folks.
Goodness gracious. The ones I didn't count, Duke versus Arizona State over the weekend, and UNC versus Johnson C. Smith, a Division II team from the Charlotte area.
Yeah, right there in Charlotte.
Both won by $1 billion, as you would expect from 2 of the best teams in the country playing exhibition games. Bobby Hurley, the coach of Arizona State, basically said after Duke whipped him up pretty good, like, credit to where they are as a team, and oh no, for where we are as a team. I think Arizona State probably got the better part of that exhibition, meaning they exposed their flaws. They know what they have to work on. Bobby Hurley is going to have everyone's attention. If you're Duke, I mean, this is going to be a test of John Shire's coaching ability this year. We know we can recruit. We know it because we've seen it, and the assembly of talent that they have on that roster oozed through their pores against Arizona State in that exhibition game. Now it's as teams adjust to you. Now it's as you face different styles of team, as you go into the meat grinder of the ACC, how do you continue getting better from this point forward? Because if they do that, if the coaches pull the right strings, press the right buttons, the ceiling is the roof. And I know I just used the UNC deal for Duke, but that's because we're transitioning to UNC right now. UNC played Johnson C. Smith. Johnson C. Smith was within 2 about halfway through the opening half. Then from that point forward, UNC basically won 100-40. I'm not concerned. I'm not worried that it was tight early. I'm not surprised that a UNC team didn't show up, shooting out of, or like a cannon, shot out of a cannon at the opening tip for a exhibition game that doesn't count against Johnson C. Smith. what I like is once it was obvious that Johnson C. Smith was there for a reason and the Golden Bulls were going to play good basketball, UNC then locked in and won it from that point forward in dramatic fashion. Ian Jackson, the freshman, scored a bunch of points. Seth Trimble, R.J. Davis had their moments as scorers, and they out-rebounded. 54-24, I think, was the final tally for UNC over their Division II opponent. If there's anything I'm worried about with UNC, it's their size. It's what happens when they go up against a true physical, 6'10+ couple of guys from an ACC school or from a other power conference contender. You're not going to get that from Johnson C. Smith. You're going to be taller. You're going to be more powerful. You're going to be stronger because you're UNC. So the thing I'm worried about for UNC, if there's something I'm worried about for UNC, was never going to be tested in a Division II exhibition game. Eventually, they'll face a team that's going to have, a 7-footer and a 6'10", 260 big guy, and then I'll go like, all right, let's see how they react. But other than that, it was just a good tune-up. Got to see a bunch of cool dunks. Got to see a bunch of, shots made, and got to win by a whole bunch. Basically,
the ceiling
60.
is the roof.
For both of them. I'll say for UNC, too. It is. The ceiling is the roof. They're as good as they want to be. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Right now, Jarvis in on a break, and he scores! Oh, my goodness! Undresses DeCord and goes top cheddar on the backhand. 3-1 Carolina.
What should we ask for today, Dennis? I'm on a heat. The show is on a heater of asking for things and the hockey gods rewarding us with them. I asked for a moment with Sebastian Aho going into, 2-3 games ago, where he he kind of, in it factor, matched up with Connor David. He hit a game winner with 7 seconds left in overtime. I asked for Pyotr Kochetkov to have a star highlight-making performance. He had a poke check. He got his first point on a empty netter assist.
Yeah.
And he stopped whatever it was, 96, 97% of the shots he faced. Going back further, we asked for Martin Necas to start hot. Well, the last 3 games, whatever, it's been 6 points in 3 games. We asked for Svech to have a moment. He scored the opener against Seattle. What else do we want? Like it's if you're getting everything you want for what do we get for a team that's on fire, and it's like, hey, what do you get for the team that has everything?
I guess you say blue line production from a guy not named Shane Gostisbehere. I know Dmitry Orlov had an empty netter on Saturday, but it's like, all right, but 5-on-5 or even a power play goal maybe from Brent Burns on that second power play unit, maybe that's where you ask for it.
I think if we wanted to get really nitpicky, you could go Sean Walker and Jalen Chatfield don't have any points yet.
Yeah.
But I have that down in my notes here, and then the next part says, are you really going to nitpick to this highest degree? A couple of defensemen with positive plus minuses, and you're sitting here saying, I wish they would score more? I mean, what else should I ask for? I've asked for Necas, got it. Asked for Jackson Blake, didn't even bring that up. All offseason, I wanted a rookie in the opening day lineup. There was a rookie in the opening day lineup, and he looks like a veteran well beyond his years. Wanted the moment from Aho, got it. Wanted Svech's moment, got it. Wanted Kochetkov, got it. Wanted Kotkaniemi to be a little bit of a playmaker because we knew he was playing with Necas and whoever ends up as that second winger on the second line. He's got 5 assists. He has 4 in their last 5 games, all assists. I guess we could, if we're being greedy, because why not?
It's been good.
Kotkaniemi to score, maybe?
Yeah.
Might be something we could ask for. My point is the Canes are playing really, really good team hockey, and it seems like they're a team of I use this example a lot, but I'm going to use it again. Shaq was asked who was his favorite point guard that he played with, and everyone assumed it was going to be like Derek Fisher, Ryan Shaw, one of these Rondo or Nash, right? I think he played with Nash on the Suns. It wasn't any of those guys. It was Jason Williams, white chocolate. And the reason being was Jason Williams didn't listen to Pat Riley. What I mean by not saying he like completely disregarded him, but if Pat Riley was calling a play for James Posey or Eddie House or Dwayne Wade, but Jason Williams knew Shaq hadn't had a touch, and he's hustled up and down the floor 4 times. Jason Williams would make sure he got the ball to Shaq. He just understood who needed the ball when. And if Dwayne Wade had gone, 3 possessions without getting a ISO, he would say, sorry, Pat, got to get this one to Dwayne Wade. It seems like the Canes are an entire team of Jason Williams. It seems like whoever needs something gets something, right? Okay, Seth Jarvis. By the way, we didn't even bring him up that entire time. Seth Jarvis is living up to the money spent in the offseason with a couple. I mean, the fast break, ankle breaker, speaking of Jason Williams, could have been on those old ankle breaker DVDs that used to get passed around. It's like, oh, he needs one, he gets one. Svetch is doing a lot. Dennis, you brought it up off air earlier. Just a bunch of really good shifts that weren't leading to, like, the goal, right? Good shots, good moves, good puck movement, good passing, good setting up, and just wasn't finishing. Boom, against Seattle, which is a good team, finishes the scores the opener. It's just like whatever they need, they're getting. So, yeah, let's ask. I want a Sean Walker point, I want a Jalen Chatfield goal, and I want a Kokiniemi goal. Can I be that greedy? If all three of those happen, you'll hear about it tomorrow.
By the way, also, no Freddie Anderson tonight. Spencer Martin called up Freddie Anderson dealing with a lower body injury. We don't know the extent of it. Rob Brindamore said he's going to get further checked out when they get back into town.
And it was supposed to be Pyotr Kochekov's night and goal anyway. So unless we hear it as a longer-term thing for Freddie, not necessarily the rotation hasn't necessarily definitely been thrown off. That was a weird way to say that. As number 2, let's get to number 1.
The one! Throw toward the end zone. Bryce fits it into Leggett for a touchdown. And Xavier Leggett does the dollar bill dance.
Gosh, did the Panthers fall a long way from that moment. Opening drive, boom, force a fumble. Take over at the 49 going in. Boom, 49-yard drive. Nothing crazy, but Bryce Young's dispersing the ball around the offense. Your first-round pick makes a tough catch. Touchdown in a small window. Then he does the dollar bill dance. Then he's riding the horsey. From that point on, not a ton to celebrate for the Panthers. Bryce Young was asked what went wrong after the opening drive. This was in the postgame. This is what Bryce had to say.
Just execution. Credit to the Broncos and them on defense. They did a really good job. Especially at the beginning, we felt like we were just one play away, whether it was self-inflicted or just execution stuff. And then second half. We just got to do a better job of stringing along drives, executing. Again, credit to them. They did a good job. And then for us, just got to watch the film and then, see what we got to do to get better.
Let me. Can I just clarify something? Dennis, can you clarify something for me? He was asked what went wrong after the first drive, and his answer was just execution. Isn't that kind of like a band saying, like, what went wrong after the first song? Just the music? Like, just the execution? What does that mean? Everything? Everything went wrong. I'm looking at a play right now. Shout out to somebody named Ricky Gaines who posted it on Twitter.
Ricky!
It is or Ricky Raines, excuse me. It is the All-22 film, a play when it was 7-7, 3rd and 14, ball at the 26-yard line, Carolina coming out. I'm just going to explain this as simply as I can. There are 3 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. So this is a 5-wide situation, as you would expect on 3rd and 14. All 5 wide receivers run a 3-step slant. All 3 wide receivers, the 3 on the left, one might be a 5-step slant, but they all run slants. Do you know the issue I have with this? It means the 2 inside wide receivers are going to run into each other right about over the ball. It means you're not taking the top off the defense at all, so there's no reason for the Broncos to have any kind of space for these guys to throw it to. And on top of that, it's 3rd and 14, and these are all quick-hitting slants. And if any of them catch it, it's not like they're going to catch and run, because that's the idea, because you're running right into the defender of the other slants. The play calling, confusing. The execution, not great. The above and beyond, I'll call it that, right? Because There are players that can take bad play calls and go above and beyond and make their coach right anyway. There was no one doing that for the Panthers. It's I know the way we do it in sports fandom is whose fault is it and you pick someone. It's not that for the Panthers. It would be more efficient to say who's not at fault and pick the 2 or 3 people that aren't in a major way contributing to how things are going. I'm talking mostly about the offense, but let's not let the defense off the hook. Bo Nix looks really gosh darn good against the Panthers. I'm not here to say Bo Nix is bad, but I'm here to say he's not an all-pro. Shouldn't be slinging it up and down the field the way he was.
He was playing in his 8th game.
And he was, what, the 5th quarterback drafted?
Yeah, I think so.
So what are we doing here? Javonte Williams didn't get it going, but just Jaleel McLaughlin did. It was there's a lot of blame to spread around in this one.
It's fun. I think Cortland Sutton had 0 targets, 0 yards the previous week, and then the end of the first quarter, he's like 93 yards.
Yeah, that's somebody that benched him in fantasy after last week.
How's that feeling?
Are the Panthers that? Are the Panthers now the team that if you have someone playing against them, you automatically start them in fantasy, no matter how bad they've been playing in previous weeks?
Oh, the Panthers are a get-right game.
For everybody?
They're a get-right game.
Goodness gracious. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the numbers game coming up. Call 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game. And if you win, you will win a pair of tickets to see Nick Swartzen at Carolina Theater on November 8th. That is Nick Swartzen from, whole bunch of movies. A lot of
Grandma's Boy.
A lot of Adam Sandler movies. Grandma's Boy. Just Go With It. He's in the Sandler crew. But also a very funny stand-up comedian. 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game and maybe win the Nick Swartzen tickets. Call in now because numbers game is coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
We know that Juan Soto loves playing on the big stage. He is a star that loves the spotlight. And you get that with either New York team. But with the Yankees, it's just a little different. Yeah. Wearing those pinstripes is just a little different. If Juan Soto has a comparable financial offer from the Yankees and the Mets, those are things that could influence that decision.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and let's cap off Week 8 of the NFL in style, and new customers jump in the pool with us. You can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 wager wins on tonight's game. So, are you confident that Russell Wilson can do it again? Can he do to the Giants what he did to the Jets? Probably. Najee Harris, better with Russell Wilson than he was with Justin Fields. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold and make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The future of cool, comfortable sleep is here. Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate Cool Smart Bed. The only smart bed in the world that actively cools and effortlessly adjusts to both of you. Sleep up to 15 degrees cooler on each side. It actively cools to keep you cool and comfortable throughout the night. Save on smart beds now during our fall sale, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season.
And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great, it's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Our contestants for today are Goodman and Clinton and Justin and Raleigh. As always, we need to ask a question to see who gets to go first. We'll start with Goodman. Goodman, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. The question is inspired by some news that literally just popped into my headset. Dennis, who's playing where now?
Duke basketball. It was just announced. Actually, this is on the Duke official basketball Twitter.
Okay.
First ever college hoops games at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. This is where the Raiders play.
All right.
Duke is going to play Arizona. Kansas is going to play Indiana. This is November 11th, 2027 is when this is happening. So 3 years from now, folks.
So what I'm asking
Mark your
for
calendars.
is inspired. Actually, no, it's Monday. I know it. No, we're going topical with it.
Go topical.
Goodman, if you could see any sport played in an unusual arena, right? A basketball game in a football stadium, a football game in a baseball stadium, a soccer stadium, something, but non-traditional. Don't say like I want to see a football game in Lambeau. What would you want to like? What event do you think could fill a non-traditional stadium? What stadium are you looking for?
So I have to be honest. I saw the NCAA tournament when it was in Dallas, when it was in the AT&T Stadium, and it looked weird because it's such a big stadium and you have to condense it all to something small. But that environment, that vibe, watching basketball being played in AT&T Stadium was coded for me.
All right, I mean that's Jerry World. So the spectacle of it, we know how crazy that gets. Justin and Raleigh, same question to you. Inspired by Duke playing in 2027? Yep. Basketball in the Raiders NFL Stadium. Give me your dream like non-traditional sport and stadium or arena pairing.
Well, since giving away with a personal experience, I'll have to give mine the tops it. Because it already happened. Carolina beating Duke in the Superdome in the Final Four. I was there. My back was to the wall in the Superdome, but I still had great seats, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Two very solid answers. Dennis, as our judge, which one are you rolling with?
I mean, both basketball inside NFL stadiums, which is something that we've seen before, so I got to go with the person who said it first. I got to go with Goodman on this one. Though I was at the one in New Orleans, the Duke-Carolina game. That place was bonkers.
So who are you going with, Goodman?
Yeah, I'll go with Goodman, though, because he gave a similar answer, and he said it first.
I would go with this, though. The NHL might already be doing it. All the outdoor games are awesome in kind of non-traditional hockey stadiums, obviously.
Yeah.
That one would have worked. I'd like to see, like, tennis or something in, like, a traditional basketball arena.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think outside the box.
Tennis and Cameron Indoor?
Yeah, like if we had Djokovic and Alvarez and Cameron Indoor. Could be something crazy, right?
Weird.
Either way, Goodman gets to go first. So stay on the line, Justin. Don't worry, you'll have your shot. Goodman, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, here are the categories you get to choose from. NFL, 4-letter names. All players whose first name is 4 letters. NFL, we were traded midseason. All players that were traded in a midseason trade. Baseball, super center fielders. So that's self-explanatory, all center fielders. And NHL, Hurricanes only.
Can I do the second NFL? The,
all right. Yep. These are
4-letter names.
You want the 4-letter names? I'm just
No. I'm sorry. The people that were
Okay.
traded mid-season.
Got you. NFL, this category is called We Were Traded Midseason. It is populated all by players that have been a part of a midseason trade. I will give you the team or the player, or team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers.
23.
Correct. Carson Palmer, Cincinnati Bengals.
9.
Correct. Kelvin Benjamin, Carolina Panthers.
13.
Correct. Braylon Edwards, New York Jets.
17.
Correct. Chase Claypool, Pittsburgh Steelers.
88.
Incorrect. Chase Claypool, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Skip.
There's none left. Chase Claypool, Pittsburgh Steelers.
81.
Incorrect. Chase Claypool, Pittsburgh Steelers.
19.
Incorrect. Chase Claypool, Pittsburgh Steelers.
17.
So close. 11. The answer we were looking for was 11. When you started with 88, I knew we were in for a show if we were going to get there.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
you
sir.
got
Yes,
4.
sir.
That's a very good number. Very good start to the week for the numbers game. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and stay on the line. That brings us to Justin and Raleigh. Justin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL 4-letter first names, all players obviously with 4 letters in their first name, baseball super center fielders, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go NFL 4-letter first name.
All right. You know the category. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need 5 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills.
5.
Incorrect. Troy Polamalu, Pittsburgh Steelers.
44.
Incorrect. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills.
11.
Incorrect. Troy Polamalu, Pittsburgh Steelers.
41.
Incorrect. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills.
15.
Incorrect. Troy Polamalu, Pittsburgh Steelers.
42.
Incorrect. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills.
17.
Correct. Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens.
81.
Incorrect. Troy Polamalu, Pittsburgh Steelers.
47.
Incorrect. You said darn near every number in the 40s except for 43, which is what the answer was for Troy Polamalu. Mark Andrews, 89, so you were in the right vicinity, just not on the nose. And you did get Josh Allen with 17. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
Always. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. If I should have turned my mic off, not because I didn't want to talk, but just so the cameras on our YouTube live stream would go to Dennis. When it went Josh Allen and he started with 5, Dennis just shook his head. We're not there.
Sorry. And then he said 44 for Troy Polamalu. Like, nope.
Well, you're a Steelers fan.
Yep.
44, the answer was 43. That's not egregious.
Well, then he said 41, and then 42, and then 47. It's like the one you missed.
Yeah, I'm with you. But that means Goodman and Clinton is the winner. Goodman, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go.
I like your excitement.
Tickets.
You won tickets
My
to see
son-
Nick
my son-
Swartzen. Go ahead.
My son has been back here. He's been my cheerleader. He's been boosting me up. He asked me how much money I win. I told him it's tickets. It's tickets. You got to relax.
There you go.
I told him it was tickets.
Nick Swartzen tickets at the Carolina Theater on November 8th. But more importantly, you are a winner. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
And you were
Yes, sir. I wish I would have got perfect. But
you were
we'll
Chase
take 4 out of
Claypool
5.
away from a perfect score.
Yes, sir.
People get
I
mad at Chase
appreciate you
Claypool
guys
for
so
love.
much.
Appreciate it. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you. But congratulations. How about that? I like that. Make it a family thing. The numbers game, something for everybody. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And I do wish you could see the head shaking of Dennis. It is a funny deal to not only run the numbers game, but see the involuntary, immediate reactions of Dennis Cox, our producer. Let's talk a little, maybe retirement for you. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Wouldn't it be great to have an income that did not depend on the stock market success for your success in retirement? You're darn right it would. Wouldn't it be great to have a plan that is designed to maximize your lifetime income so you're not leaving change on the table? You're darn right it would. Well, guess what? You can make all that a reality with the help of Coach Pete and the fiduciary planning team at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Coach Pete will make sure that he'll personally make sure that your plan is reviewed, analyzed, and seal it with the famous Coach Pete stamp of approval. Make sure you get the second opinion you deserve, because if things aren't right in your retirement account, it is vital to learn about the issues sooner rather than later. Give Capital Financial Advisory a call, and when you do, let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan, and you will also be hooked up with your very own 7 Baby Steps box set for free, in addition to your very own total and customized retirement plan, which is a $1,000 value. The number to call, 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Or if you're more of a texter than a caller, that's fine. Just text my name, Tim, to 600-700. As long as they know you heard about it here, you get the 7 Baby Steps box set. You get the complete and total retirement plan customized just for you. Just remember to say you heard about it here. Again, one more time. Phone number, 800-691-3215. Or you can text my name, Tim, to 600-700. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we preview the Canes. They're in action on the late night tip tonight, 10 o'clock start time against Vancouver. We'll preview it next.
The Adam Gold Show.
The second half in Washington was the perfect time to get Bryce Young some run. Andy Dalton was trash in the first half. It was 27-0. You weren't winning that game, and frankly, winning games shouldn't be that important anyway. Bryce Young and his development has to be paramount, even if you're not going to keep him. They missed an opportunity right there to let Bryce show something, but they're not serious about him.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with a fluffy egg for only $2.50. Be a McDonald's breakfast person. Get the most important deal of the day right after you wake up. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up in about 15 minutes here on 99.9 The Fan, Panther Talk. I don't know how many ways I can say this because I've been doing it every week pretty much. If you want to hear the explanation from Dave Canales on how the heck that happened over the weekend, you'll hear from him on Panther Talk.
Yep. You'll hear how non-committal he is on a quarterback for this coming week.
Your quarterback said what went wrong after the first half was just execution.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
After that first touchdown drive? Yeah.
What does just execution mean? Everything?
It's like, we just didn't do the thing that we were supposed to do.
We were good until it came to the offense moving the ball and the defense stopping them from moving the ball. Other than that, looked good.
You just say like, oh yeah, they threw some blitzes and coverages at us that we hadn't seen on film before, so it was different. We had to try to adjust in game, like okay, all right, that makes sense.
So I mean, obviously, the way you beat the Panthers is just do anything that you haven't put on film before, and they will immediately go, well, that's not fair.
Yeah, or just show up.
Don't be the Raiders.
At least the Raiders have, 3 wins this year? Or 2
I'm
at
just
least?
saying the Panthers.
Yeah, I know, but
they got 1.
They got
1 in 16? What do you think the chances are?
High.
Yeah.
What's the over? Hammer it.
I think they get 2. I think they steal 1.
You think they get another one?
Late in the year. I think they steal 1. Maybe a defensive touchdown, maybe a special teams touchdown, something along those lines. Let's talk Canes because that's more fun.
Yeah, it is.
Canes versus Vancouver tonight on the
winning.
road. What is it? 4 of the last 5 on the road trip. They have 1 more before they come home from the 13-day, 6-game State Fair road trip.
They've won 3 straight.
They are 1 win away from absolutely dominating that road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver, solid team. Solid team. 7th in the league in goals allowed, 12th in the league in goals scored. Those both per game stats. Solid team. Kind of similar to the Canes, excuse me. But I would throw maybe like a step below. They're like the diet Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay.
Canes are 4th allowed in goals per game and 15th in the league in goals scored. But it's the winning that these two teams are doing. Right? Canes 5-2, Vancouver 4-1-2 with the overtime losses. It is 2 teams that are playing extremely good team hockey, with the Canes doing it slightly better and maybe in slightly more adverse conditions because of the road trip they've been on. I thought this was interesting, right? I'm poking through, trying to find ways to preview this game other than the Canes have been great and you hope you keep it rolling. Neither of these teams, neither Vancouver nor Carolina, has anyone in the top 50 in points per game in the league right now. Small sample size, sure, but if you break down however many games that is, neither team has anyone in the top 50 in points per game. Martin Necas is best. He's at 51st. The next closest on either team is 79th, and that's Aho, followed up shortly after by Brock Besser of Vancouver. This game is not about cutting the head of the snake off in either direction. It's about team hockey. This is one of those games that just feels built for Rod Brindamore. Right? You need everyone on the team to play both sides of the ice. You need forechecking, back-checking. You need transition. You need everybody doing everything because the opposing team doesn't have, there are games where it's like, Aho and Slavin, I'm going to need you to match up with a very specific group here, and I just need you to grind them to a pulp. Cool? Everybody else, just don't drive off the road, and we're in there. This is not one of those. Whether it's Hughes, I brought up Besser, right? There's guys that can beat you from a bunch of different places, but the Canes have the same, right? If Martin Necas has a cold day after a little hot streak, it could be Aho or Jarvis or Svech or this or that or the other. There's really not an obvious path. Right? If you play, I'll use the Carolina Panthers as an example. If you play the Panthers, stop Chuba Hubbard, you're going to have a pretty good day. That's not what we're dealing with on either side here. And I kind of like it, right? It feels like it's the way hockey was supposed to be played, right? You need your entire team to show up and play well. If there's a concern for this, Canes at Vancouver, last of a 6-game road trip. Freddie Anderson's a little banged up already. If Spencer Martin is the backup goalie, there's, I don't know, maybe a thought that can creep up into your mind of, once we're done with this, we're going home. Once we're doing this, I get to sleep in my own bed. I get to see my family. And you don't want those to be the thoughts going into an NHL hockey game, right? You want it to be domination and unbelievable focus and laser focus, right? You want that to be the deal. So I guess there's the concern. What I'll say is we haven't seen any kind of focus wavering for the Canes yet this season. Not to say every game's been unbelievable, but to say, game 4 of a 6-game road trip is also one where you worry about your focus because, gosh, we played 3 games on the road. We still have 2 more after this. No, they were lights out. So you hope that continues. If we're going to be greedy, if we're going to keep asking for things, we talked about this earlier. Blue line production, maybe, meaning goal scoring and pushing the tempo. Kokiniemi finding the goal. He's got 5 points, all assists. Sean Walker, Jalen Chatfield still looking for their first points. Obviously, you could be greedy and ask for Pyotr Kochetkov to have another great game, especially because we don't know how long Freddie's going to be out. Lower body injury explained earlier today. There's a lot going on, but at this point, they've given us no reason to be nervous.
No, they're a good hockey team. I know a lot of people had questions about scoring throughout the lineup early on in the year. We had those same questions with all the guys that were lost. I mean, obviously, no Jake Gensel, no Teuvo Teravainen, guys that are no longer with the team after this year. And you know what? They've gotten scoring throughout the lineup so far. The question is, all right, can you sustain that through the rest of the year? It's like, all right, what happens if, let's say Jack Roslovic isn't scoring at the clip that he is? Because we've never seen Jack Roslovic be a 50-point guy before. Now, during one of the COVID-shortened years, I think he was on pace. If it was 82 games, would have been a 50-point guy, but he just hasn't been that in his career. Can he continue to be a point every other game type of guy or slightly better than that? That's a question that time will tell.
And or even, like, if you want to nitpick Roslovic, I believe he has 3 points, 3 goals.
Yeah, 3 points, 3 goals. Yep.
You'd probably like to see him contribute to somebody else scoring a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're a perfect team. I'm just saying, for the most part, the questions and concerns we've had about this team, they've done as good as they can through this point to alleviate those fears. And you hope it continues tonight. And then you have a 4-game homestand, and you're returning back after a nice little win streak. Would be on Halloween. Energy in the room would be through the roof. There's this, that, the other. There's a lot going on. Now that I've done all this waxing poetic, they need to back me up and make it happen. As someone around the office was pointing out today, there is a history of the Vancouver kind of bad matchup for the Canes. They sometimes have a hard time winning out there,
especially on the tail end of a road trip.
Some would say, like, this is a game the Canes lose. Potentially. I hope not, because it feels like all the arrows are pointed up, and I just want to believe that momentum can continue.
By the way, the Canes have the 7th best power play in the NHL.
I'll take it.
8th best penalty kill. I'll also take that as well. And guess what? Sure enough, that translates to points because they have this tie for the 6th best points percentage in the entire NHL. So there you go.
Love it. I love when the special teams are good.
Hey, they're a good team. Newsflash, Canes can win.
And if you wanted to throw so far, you can throw so far.
Mm-hmm.
But there, I mean, you can project all you want. There's a reason why they play the games on the ice, and they don't do it on paper. And it's because, Rod Brindamore knows how to coach a team to win games, particularly in the regular season. Now it just needs to translate.
Who's had the best start for the Canes so far? We have 2
Natchez.
minutes left. Is it Natchez?
Natchez. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
it's actually I like Freddie, but now the injury is not.
Hey, Freddie has the
scary.
best goals against of any goalie in the NHL to start.
Which is, I like that, but the injury takes him out of the running for me.
Okay.
I like Natchez, and if you want to, give me a gold, silver, and bronze, I like Jackson Blake.
All right.
Just based on the expectations of a rookie. Other than that, probably Jarvis. I think Jarvis is doing really, really well. Anyone I missed?
Gostisbehere.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely one I missed. I love his attitude. I love the way he plays. I love his aggressiveness.
I mean, you're not going to expect a guy to continue to score like 3 power play goals in 3 straight games. I mean, unless you're going to do it. But I mean, also with him as well, like, can he maintain this pace and this momentum? Not saying that he's going to be, again, a goal every other game type guy. He's going to put up 40 this year.
He has 3 power play goals. If he gives you like 7 the rest of this season,
yeah,
that's a great the Gostisbehere power play season. So yeah, Gostisbehere should have been on that list. And there's a bunch of others who could be, but that's the way I'm rolling. If you want more Canes, by the way, you can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Stormwatch with Adam Gold at 9:30. Puck drop. It's a late night, scheduled at 10 o'clock in Vancouver.
If you're looking for football, it's over on Buzz Sports Radio.
That'll be where Monday Night Football is. Your Steelers and the Giants.
That's right.
Daniel Jones, Duke fans. So enjoy all of that tonight. We'll be back to break it down tomorrow. So enjoy all of that. Panther talk coming up next right here on 99.9 The Fan as well. So you'll get your Panther fix from Dave Canales and East Schroff and the crew. With that being said, that's going to do it for us here on The Drive. Be back tomorrow, like I said. We're looking forward to it. Hope you are as well. 3 o'clock following the Adam Gold Show. Until then, subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every